Easy lang.
Easy. watching me play? What do you see? Mm-hmm. What do you see? Good catch. Hey, there's that guitar melody from a couple weeks ago. Maybe it's time to move on. I can't hear. All right now. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, you are. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I'll leave it on. Hello. Let's see. How's everybody doing today? I'm sad as well. Thanks for being here. And look, Firefly's even here to say hello. Hi. Got a stream cat. Today's the day to go alive if there ever was one. I thought a lot about what I would want to say. I'm still taking my hiatus, but I was going to do a TikTok live, but I don't have the follower count, which is funny. I didn't know there was a minimum needed. I think it's like 100,000. It's 1,000 followers, which is so strange. Why would you put a minimum cap on your average user? Why do I have to know 1,000 people to stream live on TikTok? What the fuck? Okay. I guess you just gotta be somebody then. And I gotta say, I was using it for like the story posts and whatnot. It's buggy. It's incredibly challenging to use. I don't know how the hell people use TikTok regularly. In comparison, Instagram is like a 4-star Michelin restaurant. I don't think I'll ever go back to TikTok. But hey, we'll see. The way everybody talks about it, I thought it was a little cooler than that, but no. It's just a shitty app. That's it. So, the reason I wanted to continue the live stream, even though it wouldn't be on TikTok, is because I feel like there are a lot of things to be said and there's space to be held. Okay? I feel like I said about Emily's apology to no one in particular. It's just an acknowledgement of what she had experienced, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of victims involved here. Like, just in general. Like, Linkin Park's core fan base is surrounding, those that resonate with topics of, like, mental health awareness, mental illness. Like, more people relate to my dad and his depression than to my dad and his happiness. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just felt like it was so dirty. I felt like it was so quick and so dirty. And I know so many people who, like, emotionally are impacted by the music and the way the band interacts with them. And I just don't feel like it's fair to not hold space for people. Okay? But I also need space held for myself, you know? So, I do have things I want to say. I don't know how long I'll be on talking, but I will hold space for you all today. I'll just be here for a little bit. Well, let's formalize this a little bit. We have a structure, let's use it. Let's get back on track here, because this is a good time to lose it, right? So today is the penultimate day of the white meditation, which means that it is day 29 of 30 and 19 of 20 of the object meditation. And that's really cool. This meditation began on August 10th. And boy, do I have something to say about August. So we're almost there. Congratulations, guys. Good job for those of you following along. We have 1 day left of this cursed white meditation period, which I've learned quite a bit from. A lot's happened since August 10th. We are currently in new moon rising, which means we are approaching a full moon. And white is the end of the third oscillation. For those of you who follow along, remember that my color meditation is there are 12 centers, 12 colors, but 6 waves where colors are paired together. White, which is the color of this meditation, which will end tomorrow, is the second half of the third wave. The first half was yellow, which is really interesting. I'm just going to say for myself, it was strange and yet immensely gratifying to see that the entire post-LPU showcase interview between Mike Shinoda, the band, and Zane Lowe. They were all color-coded, weren't they? They were all wearing colors. Emily's wearing yellow, Mike's wearing orange, Dave's wearing green, etc. I thought it was really funny that, because wasn't Zane wearing green too? He was wearing a plaid green shirt, which is really funny. It was a good throwback to Chester's "This Isn't a Good Neighborhood," wearing his red plaid. Come here, you want to go out? Come on. Come on. You want to go out? Go on. No, you're just getting zoomies? Okay. Awesome. I love that for you. You're the worst. Come here. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. What are you doing? You want to go out or you want to stay in? I see you. I see you chasing around. Well, you need... Oh, okay. You need love. Got it. Get it. Good job, Firefly. Sorry, my child was talking to me. So yeah, white meditation. That means that this 60-day period is coming to a close. What a wild 60 days. Let me tell you. It's been a wild 60 days. Yeah. So there's our color meditation, okay? Good job. We got the stats out of the way. We got ourselves situated in the temporal continuum. Now, if this were a normal situation, we would talk about updates to the system. Let's talk about hiatus before I talk about some other things that have been bothering me. Just earlier, maybe it was 2 weeks ago now, but I feel like it was earlier this week. Yeah, it's about 2 weeks ago now. I did a live stream and I jumped off because I was annoyed with the way people were talking to me about certain things, or in the case of the live stream at the end in specific, the way they weren't talking to me about certain things. I had just reported officially on Kyle Christner, and I had said, no, I give a lot of time and effort to keeping track of things and expressing myself in a certain way. And I don't appreciate being watched quietly while I'm trying to talk about something, especially given that I knew that Kyle Christner had been swept under the rug and that he deserved to be talked about. Also because I've just been talking about Kyle Christner level craziness since I came back last year, right? So it's both like, why are we not taking this seriously with the stuff that's relevant now and the stuff that has been relevant? It was very frustrating. So I decided to rearrange and decided to take a break. I came back from a break and immediately decided to go into another one because the Linkin Park stuff happened. I almost finished my hiatus, my first one, before Linkin Park did their bullshit. But they did it 3 days before it was over. And it was very frustrating. And of course I had to talk about it, and of course I had to process that. They were toying with everyone's emotions and thinking that this interactive social media campaign was cute, and that was hard. And then things just kind of like leveled out for a little bit, just like a couple of days, because then the timer went off and it went backwards, right? And then we were all like, oh shit, what's going on? And I literally said on my Instagram, I said, everybody be aware that Linkin Park has historically used the secret LPU shows, the raffle shows that they hold at the beginning of every tour and in between every tour, that they were going to use that potentially to showcase the new music and the new stuff in whatever way they thought would be most viable, right? And I was dead on. And the thing is like, if I hadn't taken the years that I've taken to research and organize myself around all of this, I wouldn't even have known that. I wouldn't even have known that Kyle Christner probably most likely litigated against Warner Music Group and Linkin Park because, well, Machine Shop as well, but because, not because of the 2 box sets, but because he knew that the Greatest Hits album was coming up as well. You know, I said, what else was going on around January, guys? Look back. What was it? And that's so funny. Right now, Linkin Park, a notification on YouTube just showed up, and it's for the Emptiness Machine live. Like, fucking wow. You guys are having trouble loading the video, like the stream? That's interesting. But I was right. They offered tickets to people who were in the Linkin Park Underground, the fan club, the exclusive fan club. And then they had people fly out to the shows and take care of themselves. And I talked to some people about this in the LPU who had gone to the show. I was like, hey guys, I'm just curious about, you know, what was the cost out of pocket for you to attend that show? How frustrating is it, or was it, to engage with a restrictive location and timeline? Because in reality, you know, these aren't free tickets. You give somebody a ticket. I think this was an international Linkin Park Underground situation, but I could be wrong. I'm not in it, so I don't know. But I was told by these people, like, one of the people I talked to spent over $800 on this ticket, and they hadn't even gone home yet. You see how strange that is? You know, I looked up the statistic that I read off earlier about the increase of net profit as a result of the Meteora box set, and it was over 370%. It wasn't 275. I was wrong. I was wrong by almost 100%. So, like, it was really annoying to see that Mike Shinoda was doing what he was doing with the tickets, to see that it cost so much, that the show was only 60 minutes. It was only 60 minutes. Like, you had people fly out on their own dime, get their own hotel in one of the busiest international cities in the U.S., and then you didn't tell them where they were going to be or when they were leaving. That's just so strange to me. Somebody's saying it was only U.S. and okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was only U.S. because that's only a couple thousand miles. You know, that's round trip. That's not like overseas. Okay, that's a whole different thing. But that was disheartening. And then, you know, to watch the show was disheartening. It was really weird for Mike, in my opinion, to give the audience the perspective of Chester, because he was singing those songs to the audience. And like, how rude do you gotta be to end the set list on Bleed It Out? Like, for real. My dad died from an alleged self-hanging. And you're going to talk about tying a noose? That's just crazy to me. And I felt like every single one of the songs at the show was like, specifically like, it was pointed as fuck. And the way they talked about it, it was like they were saying more than they were saying. And then what happened later at the interview? Emily didn't talk about Chester. She skirted the fucking question. You can see Mike looking at her like, oh shit, she's the real deal. She really fucking got away from that question. In my opinion, that's what I saw. It took me, like I said, almost 2.5 hours to go through it. Because that's how many things I caught. Because I'm an insider, right? I saw it and I was like, no. I paused it for like my buddy Josh Morales was watching it with me, and I stopped it. He eventually he was like, oh my God, you're stopping it like every time. I'm like, I know. That's how fucking serious this is. That's how bad this is. I would not be doing this if it weren't that serious. And it was just like really hard. And then putting the timeline together of how they know each other and when they started working on the album or when they didn't. Like the interview after the interview, the one that Mike did via like Zoom with the radio station host or interviewer, he literally said that he was so excited that the album was coming out because he'd been working on it for years. That's what he said in the interview. After saying that it was only 8 months, after saying that they weren't making music all this time and it just happened to be what it was, he's saying that he's been working on that project for years, at least since 2019, according to him and Emily last night. So it's just, there are things that are just so crazy about the actual experience of like watching it, of digesting the interaction, the show, the interview after the interview. There's no way Mike Shinoda didn't know that he has fans still. You know what I mean? Didn't he just do the Scream movie? Like, this is really genuinely just ridiculous at this point. It's so absurd. It's almost like they're just lying for the sake of lying because they know they're going to get away with it. Like, he didn't have to address what happened with me and Anna. He didn't have to address my father, my family, what about the other kids? Like, bro, it just drives me up a wall. It's like, I can't imagine how some of this is being perceived by other people who know. Like, where's Toby? Where's Sam? You know what I mean? Where's Draven? Where are all the tough motherfuckers who are out here pressing me all goddamn day? Oh, is it not working? You guys need me to restart it? I see that Steph Zombie said there. Oh, we're about to talk about Toby because I had a falling out today and it really fucking ruined my entire mood. You know what I'm talking about, right, Fi? You know what's coming. Can you guys hear me okay? It seems like it's kind of a mixed bag between people who can hear me and people who can't. No? Okay. Okay, let's give it a few more minutes and we'll check back in on it. Here. Go ahead. Get out of here. Go. Thank you. Huh? She's just passing out. She's got zoomies. Trying to figure out what she's going to do. So, yeah, the whole like social media campaign was weird. And by the way, people called out Emily Armstrong for being the singer of the band like months before it happened. Did anybody else catch that? Like, I swear, in my head, I remember seeing that there was this big rumor that there was a female singer and that she had said she would like to make it to rehearsals, but she's got work with Linkin Park to do or something like that. And that's literally one of Emily's posts on her social media. So it's just strange for me to think like, so all the rumors were true. Linkin Park has been writing music for, at least 5 or 6 years now, since 2019. They've been featuring sessioned artists. They've been using Mike's career path through post-traumatic, which, by the way, how funny was that? Zane Lowe during the interview was like, you know, it's so crazy that you wrote a whole album about feeling guilty, about wanting to keep doing something that you felt was unfairly taken away from you. And Mike was like, I totally did. And I forgot about all of that, you know, but until you reminded me just now. You didn't remember post-traumatic, bro? Really? That's crazy. That's crazy. And then the whole time to be like, yeah, we were writing music, but we weren't. We were writing something as like Linkin Park was writing something, but, we weren't really writing it. It was only until we got to it, And then I was thinking about it, there's that Linkin Park, or not Linkin Park. Fuck that. It's not Linkin Park. It's Chester. Chester singing the new song, Emptiness Machine, in AI, or through AI. Did you guys see that? This is so funny. I genuinely thought it was funny. I don't think he would sing it that way. He would not have picked that. He understands how to voice the voice, He knows how to shape it. So in my opinion, I felt like probably like half of the presentation for that AI was like perfect. I was like, damn, that really does sound like Chester in a weird way. And then the other part was like, I don't know about that. And I was wondering, because Mike Shinoda himself in these interviews, he even said that the song was pretty much totally finished by the time that she got on it. By the time that Emily laid a track for Emptiness Machine, the song was pretty much done. So in my mind, I was like, well, that's weird. So let me get this straight. When you heard her voice on things, you knew it was Linkin Park. But really, Linkin Park wrote a Linkin Park song without Chester. And then I'm wondering if they did their magic trick that they did with Friendly Fire. And for temp tracks. And I'm wondering if what they actually did was take the songs that they didn't release for One More Light and workshop them for almost a decade. It makes me wonder, because Mike's all over the place with when things were written and who was involved, like way, way, way back in the day when Chester died. Because we could say that now. On Twitch, Mike literally said, oh yeah, we have a lot of songs. We have almost an entire album of songs for One More Light that were never released. We have a couple that were almost totally mixed and mastered though, like Lost, for example, off of Meteora. But, almost all of that song is written and it's almost all completed. And then they come back years afterwards with this song, Friendly Fire. And they're like, in the featurette, they're like, well, there were big pieces missing. And it's like, so did you finish the song in 2017 or were there pieces missing? And what is this magic trick that you performed on the track to get Chester to be on the track that way, to have that finished that way? It makes me wonder if they use AI derivatives as temp tracks in their studio process so that they can get a read on what a Linkin Park song would sound like, right? And then it makes me wonder if they wrote all this music and they were, again, deconstructing all of their featured session artists, right? Like Kyle Christner, by the way, someone who was dismissed out of court for claiming his right to the music that Emily gets to go around and tour for free. Crazy, dude. It really makes me wonder if Mike and the crew wrote this music for years and years and years, and then finally they were like, oh, hearing this Chester derivative, then maybe she is the right voice. And I feel like, genuinely, this is so slapped together, so haphazard, but yet kind of fully formed at the same time. It's confusing. It's like, so they Brad had touring equipment in his house, holding on to it. Okay, weird. Mike said that they weren't working on music for years, and then right at the end of the second interview, the interview after the interview, he said that this has been a project in development for years. He's so excited. Did you guys see that moment in the Zane Lowe interview where Zane goes, well, I heard the album, and then Mike goes, who gave you the album? He just like bosses up on Zane for a second. That happened 4 times. Mike Shinoda bossed up on Zane Lowe like 4 times. The first time, which was so funny, isn't it hilarious that Mike Shinoda got his own section in the Zane Lowe interview? And then he got his own interview after the band interview? Is that weird? Isn't it kind of strange? Like, I was wondering this while I was watching the Zane Lowe interview. I was like, why is Mike saying that he spent the most time with Colin, but Emily's sitting next to him? You know what I mean? Colin's on the other side of the couch. Colin said almost literally nothing. Not that he was given much of a chance. And Emily was sitting in between Dave and Mike, where my dad should have been. Just interesting. Just interesting things. The colors they were wearing, the way they were talking and interacting. Like, Brad destabilized the shit out of that interview afterwards. You catch how many times Brad or Dave even, or just anybody in the band kind of, except for Joe, because Joe seems genuine. That's my thing. Is like, I feel like I have a whole different perspective of Joe right now, because he's the only one sitting there that had a genuine emotional reaction to my father and the artistic effort that the band brings to the table. You know what I mean? It's like so fucking strange. And these things all matter. Like, for example, when Zane Lowe and Mike Shinoda were alone at the beginning of the interview, and I'll do an official breakdown of the entire thing. Don't worry. I'm just expressing my feelings right now. When they were sitting together and talking, what did Zane say? He went, yeah, you know, when we were talking, before all the cameras and all the people, the other day when it was just me and you. And Mike stops and he goes, huh, yeah. Like, he's choked on the fucking word. Like, he was, like, sidelined by what Zane Lowe was saying and freaked out. Like, Zane was going to go and say and do something he wasn't supposed to say or do. That happened 4 times. Once was that time. There's another time where Mike's looking at the ceiling and Zane's telling him, like, yeah, I listened to, okay, well, then I'll just talk about the Emptiness Machine. One of the other times was the, who gave you the album, right? The third time was when Mike was staring at the ceiling like this. And Zane's going, yeah, you know, this song just kind of feels like you're throwing down the gauntlet and saying, well, you think that I'm this, but I'm not. And you're saying, I want to do this, and your expectation of what I want to do is not what the truth is. Like, what you think I want is not what I want, but I'm going to do what I want anyways. There's this whole conversation. Mike's looking up. The whole time Mike's looking up like this. And then he goes, yeah, that's a great perspective, Zane, but that's not my perspective. And then he goes off. And there's a time in his solo interview with Zane and a time with the band, which, you know, the time where he gulped it down when Zane said that they were talking separately. And the time after Zane said that he had listened to the entire album. Both times, Mike Shinoda went, that's funny that you think that. Let me change the narrative because you said it wrong and I'm going to say it right. Twice. 2 times. Zane, I want to do a drinking game. I think maybe I'll do that. Every time Zane Lowe gets steamrolled into a different position or a different conversation, I take a shot. I might perish after that. That's a great thought, Zane, but you're wrong. And also, this is the actual narrative, so if you could get it fucking right and we don't have to give you our notes anymore, that would be fucking great. Because you can't ever seem to get it together. I feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong about this, during the Zane Lowe interview, Mike Shinoda and the band said they hadn't talked to Zane Lowe since the beginning of their career, correct? Like, I feel like I'm hoping that I just misunderstood. But it sounded, I haven't misunderstood anything else. It sounded like they said that they hadn't seen Zayn in like 10 years, right? Like they didn't acknowledge the interview they did last year. And by the way, talking about 2023, that's one of the main reasons, not one of the main, it's one of the reasons, many reasons, that I took away the ally card from Mike Shinoda and Emily Armstrong. Emily was literally still supporting Danny up until yesterday, and also this was reported, all of this stuff about her that's currently being passed around the internet was reported about her last year, wasn't it? Am I wrong? I feel like maybe I might be a little off on that, but I'm just curious because that's where I thought it was. It's bizarre. And, you know, it's just... And then, let's see, Dave couldn't shut up. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude about it, but I was sitting there on the other side of the video. Every time that he started talking, it was like a save face moment. And I was like, shut up. I found myself literally saying that on the other side, like, shut up. Shut your fucking mouth. Because he's just saying nonsense. Like, I like how Zane Lowe was like, I want to know how Colin and Emily feel about being in the band. And before either one of them can figure out what they want to say, or if they're going to say it, Dave comes around and goes, you know, I think that moment's like different for everybody, but like, you know, it's music and like everybody can have their opinion. And like, I think people just need to like, you know, I think that they'll really just like it if they just like let us do it. Every time he went, wait, I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to say something ridiculous again. And notice how there's this really, really, really wonderful part where they're looking up, right? And they see the new Linkin Park magenta logo. It's like liquid or whatever. And Zayn goes, he says the most stupid shit. He goes, wow, that's really cool. Like, that's just totally fucking amazing. Like, what is that, 2 pieces of glass? How'd you get that up there? And Mike looks over and he goes, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah, that's just like art. That's art, you know, it's like cameras and like liquids, like, you know, and this was just a moment in time, you know, and that just has so much symbolic meaning. And then Joe talks and he's like, yeah, actually, when I made that, I was thinking about this, and it really informed the artistic process in a specific way. So the art ended up looking like that, and he's like trying to talk about the art, and nobody gives a fuck. Like, how insane is that? Like, it really just sounded like, it sounded like after how they described how this all came about and how they put it all on Joe. They put it all on Joe. Poor guy. They were like, Joe was like, I was lonely. After Chester died, it felt like everybody just like stopped talking to each other, and like I was so alone, and I just wanted to make music with my friends, and I just wanted to like feel like I was part of the brotherhood again, and you know, I just feel like I really lost a lot when that happened. And then you find out that Dave and Mike talk all the time, that they've been making music since at least as early as 2019. At least. We all know it really started in 2017 because Mike Shinoda started making music immediately, released his first single in October of 2017. By January, he had an EP, and by June, he had an album and a whole new career. So... It just seems like Brad, Dave, and Mike all talk to each other. And then, you know, you got Dave hanging out with Emily, and you got Mike hanging out with Colin, which again, fucking weird that they weren't sitting in that order. I don't know. And then Dave's like, we've known Emily for years. And it's like, what? So you guys have been working on this project for years. You guys have known these people for years. And you know what's even creepier about all of this is like, I believe that Dead Sarah is signed to Warner Music Group. I believe. And it's very clear that Colin is a producer who works under Warner Music Group, Chappelle. So it's very interesting that the two people who are bringing the band back to life with the original members are legacies, people who grew up in the music, by the music, and they're all a part of the music mafia. They are all a part of the company that has yet to explain what happened to my father, why his ride share was changed from 4:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Stuff like that. It's funded. Maybe I read that wrong. Okay, maybe Dead Sarah is not. But still, they had two legacies, and one of them is a producer under Warner Music Group. Fucking weird. And it just sounds to me like Joe came in with all of his heart, and he was like, hey, I want to do this, and I can see all this potential. They only needed one person to give them a reason. You get one of the original band members in there looking just to make art with his friends and hoping that he can have a real human connection with the people that he literally grew up with. And then they're like, oh, well, Joe thinks it's okay. So it's an album now. It's a tour now. It's got merch. We got vinyl. We're doing a world tour. We're going to do a world tour that allows us to maintain the footholds that we've managed to create in other countries over decades of being some of the biggest musicians in the world. And their tickets are already sold out. Could you believe it? I heard that every single one of those shows is sold out. That might be different now. I don't know. But that's crazy. I'm actually requesting 2 tickets. I'm going to, when I get off, I'll fucking do it right now. I'll do it right here with all of you here. Where's my computer? I'm gonna message Linkin Park real quick and let them know that I want 2 tickets to their 9/11 arena performance. One for me, and one for my wife. My life partner. We can go sit and laugh. And I have a right to do that. Where's my computer at? I thought it was in here. 1 second. Really? You're back in here? Why? Let's do it. We're going to message them right now. You guys all watched me do it. All right? You watched me do it. I'll pay for the whole way. I'll pay for the food. I'll pay for the board. I'll pay for the car ride. I'll do it. I'll drive my ass to LA and I'll watch your arena show on the 11th. I'll sit in the fucking nosebleeds. I'll sit all the way up there. I don't give a fuck. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what your show's going to be like. I want to see if you're going to play greatest hits of all time and make Emily sing it, which would be challenging. Again, she lost her voice after 3 songs the other night. When they put on Waiting for the End, when they started playing Waiting for the End on the show, I literally went, oh, fuck. Like that. I just said it out loud. Oh, fuck, no. She's not going to be able to do this. And it's not even because she's not a good vocalist. I think people might think that because I'm saying something about her, that I think that she's a bad musician. I didn't say that. I don't think that. I think that Emily's voice is fine. I think that I like the Dead Weather. I think I like the Dead Weather, and I think I get it. But I don't think that this entire situation is acceptable. And, like I had said before, you don't get to just say, oh, well, I didn't know any better, and then be, let off scot-free. Like, you say my father's name. Emily. Say his name. How about you apologize specifically to the victims of Danny's? You don't intimidate them. How about you say sorry to the victims of the culture and interaction base that you've assimilated because of your privilege? You don't know what you have. You don't know what you're doing. And you should have thought really hard about that before you just fucking did it. If Mike Shinoda calls you up and says in 8 months we're doing arena tours and now you're in Linkin Park, maybe you should question it a little bit. You shouldn't just go, well, okay. But, yeah. And by the way, again, I'll reiterate before I write this message. They did not come to me. Nobody let me know. There was no formality. There was no courtesy. There was no opinion, no question. They don't give a fuck about me. In fact, I would hazard to guess that Mike's first song is actually about me. But you'll never catch him admitting that. You'll just know that because of me, only because I said something, that he stalked me on Instagram to see what I was saying. And then as soon as I started reporting about Kyle Christner, he unfollowed me and restricted my account so I couldn't tag him anymore in anything. And that was literally like the week of this countdown. Like it was really fucked up. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I wonder what Brad has to say about all of this, because in reality, I've actually been more communicative with Brad. Like I've actually asked him how he's doing in the last 2 years. Come to find out that all my misery and everything that I'm going through overlaps with a number of core Linkin Park memories. Things that we can't even know yet, because even though the project was just off the cuff right now, 8 months ago, they've been working on it for years. And I wonder why. I wonder why Kyle Christner got thrown the fuck out. Has anybody asked him if he's okay? Oh, by the way, I also got my first death encouragement since Chester died. I didn't even get this last year. After what I said yesterday, after going through the Linkin Park interview and the show and all that shit, somebody literally messaged me, "Kill yourself." And then people want to tell me I'm wilding. What the fuck are you talking about? This guy. What's up? I'm looking at my messages because I'm about to message Linkin Park for those fans. But this guy wrote in all caps to my story today. He said, "Brother, what Emily said on the stage is a joke." About the 8 months. Mike taught me to sing in 8 months. "It's a running joke they have on the band that they don't know their instruments. Brad Delson had a similar joke like this where they said he didn't know how to play the guitar until he joined the band, even jokingly thanked Metallica for teaching Brad. Not only that, please listen to Dead Sarah, which is Emily's own band, and she's a really good singer. Please do your research well and try to understand a joke." And I said in all caps, "Dude, I don't care." And they said, "You're just nitpicking and reaching at this point. All the best." No. Facts. No is the fact here. You're wrong.
I love how they never have to be serious, always say everything is a joke, and just, "Oh, but it was a joke. But we're not actually going to address anything."
It's always that way.
Everything we say is a joke. Don't take anything serious.
I literally said this the other day in June when I was when I was talking about Mike Shinoda's post-traumatic and its 6-year anniversary and how much I didn't appreciate it. I said, Mike isn't funny, but he thinks his jokes are funny. Mike buys into his own shit. Sean doesn't believe his jokes. He's not funny. He gets angry about shit. Mike will fucking laugh at you and be subtle as fuck and cagey and annoying. and he'll hide in the rafters and act like he's your friend, like he did to me, and he's not doing it.
It's just like...
It's not happening, and then he just gets to not do it.
There's a time to joke and there's a time to be serious, but they've forgotten all seriousness.
I don't know.
Just the whole thing of like, well, you see, you guys just sit around for 6 hours and talk about fucking mustard. It's so prophetic. You think it's so prophetic. And it's like, you think it's prophetic to talk for 6 hours with your friends? Yeah, I think it's really cool that the friends are talking. Brad doesn't think so, apparently. But that might be a joke too, so who knows?
Yeah, who knows what's a joke. Honestly, like...
Everything's just going to be written off as a joke.
It is. It's all a joke. Like...
They're just so not serious, bro. They're just bros broing around, bro.
What was Mike's stupid thing about the, maybe it's something, but nothing is something, and something is nothing. And shut up. Shut up. Stop talking. You can go ahead and play as many catty little jokes as you want. You can be as trickster as you want. I don't give a fuck. Stop. He said it in his interview. He's like, it just doesn't work for new bands, so why not just take what we already have and abuse it?
Did you talk about them being, or my acknowledgement and thought about them using LP, because if you come out as a new band, then you could actually be critiqued for your talent.
Oh, that,
your
yeah.
work. Like, to do a whole fucking tour, world tour, without even having your album out. And then all you're gonna do is sing old songs and then be like, people don't criticize Emily for da-da. I was like, they wouldn't be if she wasn't only singing his songs. She's like, I worked so hard to make these my own. They sound the same. Little tweaks here and there don't really change the music. They sound the same. Of course, we don't know the album, but they didn't let us know the album. They're like, don't critique us because we're a new band. And we have our new shit in it. And although we made sure our new shit sounds like the old shit, even though in our last album we got really mad at our fans for not letting us change our sound, and we said that we're not Inksy Tinks anymore, that we're not going to sing those songs and we're really tired of them. We are going to come back and only sing those songs and be mad at people who don't want us to do that. Like, I wonder why they didn't sing the last album. Everybody?
Yeah, is it because Mike turned on everybody?
He didn't want to fucking do that anymore and he wanted to move on. And then he's going to come back and be like, actually, we're going to do the exact same thing. The whole thing of like, Emily, she just sounds so nice. She fits so well because it sounds like Chester.
That's what I was talking about that a little bit.
Oh, I was such a fan. And you know what? I said, I could do that. Imagine fucking spending how long pivoting your talent to make it your own. And someone just be like, I could do that. She said it so nonchalant too, not even like
that's what I said.
Of effort it took to get there, and like how much she had to put into doing that. It's just like, yeah, whatever.
I had said that Linkin Park did the same thing that Grey Days did. They got a blonde singer, except for this one doesn't specialize in impersonation. She specializes in cosplay.
She does?
No, it's cosplay. It's different. There's a guy who the Grey Days guy built his entire career around sounding like my dad. She is someone who's happy to ride the wave.
I don't even know what the difference is.
One's trying to be him, and one's trying to live off his energy.
Oh yeah, the whole like, we're gonna build off the Chester's image right in the beginning of the fucking interview, like, wow guys, thank you.
After saying he slipped away, go fuck yourself, Zayn Lowe.
You're not going to even acknowledge
how
he slipped away or the inconsistencies in the story of how he
Go ahead and tell everybody how Chester slipped away with a corporate sponsor's belt around his neck at a time when he was supposed to be getting ready to go to work with Linkin Park.
All of y'all want to talk about how mentally unstable he was and depressed, but you guys didn't let him take a break from going on tour. Every time they were off tour.
No, literally when Zayn Lowe was talking about the worst case potential of a musician being like, they're super talented, but they don't want to go on tour. Like, ugh, what a nightmare. And I was like, that's my fucking dad. That's my fucking dad. My dad will always be like, another tour? Fuck. Another tour? I remember one time he got home after like months on the road. I don't even remember what year. It was sometime later. It was around 2014-ish. And he was so tired of doing the fucking tour. And then he got home, and he was like, I get to be home. And then Warner Music hit him up, and they were like, bro, you're going out for another 2-month stretch. He's like, I have kids and a wife. I have a life. I can't just leave, guys. I just got home. My kid just fucking learned my name again.
Also, like, I think it's so funny. I talked to you about it, but the fact that you have to go and ask them for tickets.
Yeah,
like,
the fact that they
like,
didn't just offer a show.
They're like, I know we stole your dad from you when you were a kid. He didn't really get to spend time with you the way that he wanted to. I know that we kept him on the road and you only really got saw him on the road. And in really stressful situations. But we're still gonna use him even after he died. We're gonna pretend like we didn't know we had an audience, even though we were releasing a bunch of things to make sure that our audience was engaged and building off of the momentum of what's it called? Nostalgia.
Yeah. In Zane Lowe's interview, when Mike literally compared Linkin Park to the corporate Disney absorption of Star Wars, was fucking insane. Like, did anybody else catch that? He's like, yeah, they wanted to get back on the Millennium Falcon. Like, bro, you're literally Disney going up to people who've been around Star Wars for 40 years and enslaving all of their kids and all of the attention they have left with shiny bullshit that doesn't fucking matter. This is my Force Awakens. This is my Tears of the Kingdom, guys.
Don't you want to see Star
I thought the
Wars
sequel was going to be
again?
sick as fuck. It's worse than anything you could have possibly imagined.
Don't you want to take your kids to see Star Wars? What a good experience you guys will have.
Yeah,
no, it's nothing like it. No.
All you people out there who are like, well, at least my daughter gets to grow up listening to Linkin Park. Shut up. I saw somebody on Threads the other day who said, wow, Linkin Park on the radio, and that they were doing something else. It's like a video game of some sort. And they're like, oh, it's like being in high school again. I'm like, ew. Ew.
You're not in high school.
You are all like 40, 50 years old almost. Ew. Mike's almost 50.
Or like the whole time they're being like,
ew.
we just were in it and we didn't know what we were doing. And then we got here and we're like, oh. And I was like, yeah, you have to be in your reality. For some of us, it's not a fucking choice. We don't get to be disillusioned in our fucking money and our ways that we fucking are able to disillusion ourselves from reality. Some of us can't literally do that. Like what we talk about, like our brains literally don't let us just be willy-nilly. We take things seriously, and some people call that mental illness. Some people call that actual reality.
I'm just sick. Like
it was just so annoying to see them continue to be like, we didn't even know what we were doing. Oh my gosh, we didn't even know we were going to be a band. Wow, all we were doing was having artists in the studios. We were doing tryouts.
We only wrote an album for 7 years and then suddenly it was an album, okay? It wasn't like that. If somebody told you it was something, then it's probably nothing.
Even if they told you it was something.
Even if they told you it was something, they probably don't know anything. And from that nothing perspective, it is absolutely nothing. But it's definitely something. It's just a joke. But if something were nothing, then nothing might be something if it is, but it might not be.
It was so funny that they were like, we're going to tell you the backstory of how it became a band, how we met. And we still don't know how they met.
Yeah, we still don't know how they met anybody.
We still don't know how they actually decided to be a band, why they decided to keep the LP name, all of these things. The actual questions when the fucking... what's his name, Zane Lowe, asked her about Chester and how she felt about implementing the things and da-da-da. She's like, yeah, so the
Well,
band,
I was influenced by music. And music influenced me.
Say his name.
And I really thought that I could sing the song. So I just spent like a lot of time doing that. Okay, but what do you think about the fact that Chester died by suicide, and that's really specific and it needs to be like touched on?
Acknowledged at all, guys.
Well, and then Dave comes in. Come on, bro. Leave me alone. You guys are all annoying. It took me 2.5 hours to get through your stupid, corrupt little fucking powwow. And by the way, somebody's asking here, did Toby reach out? No! No, let's talk about my betrayal today.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to go. But I was saying, like, it's insane. I hadn't finished my comment. I think it's insane how you're having to ask instead of them being like, you know what? We know that your dad gave a lot of his life to our band.
Yeah.
And he is a big part of why, like... our fans really were able to feel engaged with it. Because look at everyone in the fucking band. Who was the face of the band? Mike and Chester. Okay? And a lot of people really did have that connection to Chester. The way that he expressed, the way that he acknowledged the fans, the way that he communicated with them and was genuine in acknowledging such esoteric beings, you know, like thought patterns. He did that. He was the one from the fucking, we'll call it streets, who people were able to empathize with. Just a little Phoenix kid. people would call us like desert rats. But
Desert
I think
rats.
it's hilarious that they're out here being like, you know what, we did, like, they're not out here being like, you know what, we did all that, and although you're even online saying you're having a hard time with these things, and we're consistently not actually acknowledging you, and not acknowledging that people are treating you badly, even though we acknowledge that we think you have mental illness.
Again,
and that we're still gonna go.
You never touched on Anna Shinoda.
We're still
You're
gonna
crazy,
go
bro.
use your dad's songs and have someone else sing them and perform them for however long we fucking want to. The least we could do, you know, is let you go. Is let you go to the concerts. Let us know when you want to go, if that's something you need to do for yourself. Like, it's crazy that they couldn't even reach out and tell you something, like, the bare minimum acknowledgement of, like, if you need that for yourself, or you want to come see that we're actually doing the thing for you guys, like, because we enjoy it, come to the show, we'd love to have you there. Insane behavior that you're having.
I am the family, by the way.
Them.
When they're on the interview and they're like, well, we talk to family and we do X, Y, and Z. I am family. You were all my uncles.
We're gonna take
You
care
were
of
all
our
my
lead
uncles
singer.
until you decided to be backstabbing
so.
jabronis. And in that case, I don't want you as my fucking uncle. I disown you. Thank you for making that point. That's wonderful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. I had fun
Nice.
talking about Toby. I'm sorry that that's a thing.
Yeah. So first, let's read the message that I sent to Linkin Park. Then we're going to move, because I need to charge my phone. I'm staying on for a while. If not, just to hold space, because I'm saying what I need to say now, but then you guys will have your time to, like, just chill and be present. And then I wanted to read, after read the message, I wanted to read the Emptiness Machine lyrics. And then I will talk about Toby, because that's one empty machine. And we'll talk about the literal backstab betrayal that I experienced today. So I messaged them. Okay, here it is. You see it? I messaged them. And I said, hi, I would like to formally ask you for 2 tickets to your 9/11 LA show. Respectfully, I would like to observe. A ticket for me, a ticket for my wife. Please let me know if this is something you would like to honor, or if this is not something you would like to honor. Thank you for your time. We'll see if they respond. And just in case you all didn't know, I messaged Linkin Park on August 27th. And this is what I said. I wrote, hi, I just wanted to let you know that this comment was meant for LP Live. I did not know and currently do not know how I ended up posting to the official account. With that being said, I want to say that my intention of posting to LP Live was not to be indirect in my interaction with the band. LP Live was the source of the information about the timer countdown. Though I do intend to speak with Mike and the guys in the band eventually, at this moment I wish only to observe. I was spectating with everyone else, processing my experiences and emotions around the potential of this announcement. The reason I'm clarifying is because my intention may not be apparent in the most recent mention above. Also, all these years, I was under the impression that LP Live was an official arm of Linkin Park. I'm not sure how valid that is anymore. I had an odd interaction with them the other day. The broad perspective on that interaction is also in my story. Thank you for your time. They never responded to that. Never. I sent that at 4:44 p.m. because I'm pretty like that. So we'll see if they respond. Hopefully they will. But as of right now, I'm not super hopeful. I'm pretty sure they'll just ignore me and pretend I'm not here like they've been doing. So I sent my invitation to Linkin Park. We'll see what they have to say. Let's move I want to read the Emptiness Machine lyrics, and then I'll tell you about Toby. Charging. Might be a little tilted for a moment, but that's okay. As long as it's charging, right? Okay. So, you know how, like, I'm a Kendrick fan? And, like, the most, like, non-fan kind of way. Like, I don't really practice fandom like that, but, you know, I'm a listener of Kendrick Lamar's, right? An active reader. And so I've made references to Mr. Morale. I've made references to Kendrick's Euphoria. I've made references to Drake and Kendrick's feud. I got a lot of Drake to my Kendrick, as I've been saying. And so that's interesting. 8 months ago would have been January, which would have been the start of the new year, right? I already would have had my first wave of social media interaction. So everything that I did up until the time that I took a break already happened. He goes into litigation with Kyle Christner, and he calls Emily back into the studio. Okay? So I've already done the backflip. I've already run the car into the building. I've already done the whole thing. Okay? And these are the lyrics for the first song. And he says that there are so many bangers on this album. And this brings me back to Zane Lowe, so we'll get there. He says, these are lyrics for the Emptiness Machine. Your blades are sharpened with precision, flashing your favorite point of view. I know you're waiting in the distance, just like you always do. Already pulling me in, already under my skin, and I know exactly how this ends. Mr. Morale, he says, I'm sharpening a few, I believe it was swords in the faith, I believe. That enough amount of time. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I've been waiting away. Stepping waiting away. I know what song I'm talking about. So it's just interesting. And then it's interesting that he says flashing your favorite point of view. I just thought that was interesting. What point of view are you talking about, Mike Shinoda? Whose point of view do you not like? Could it be mine? Flashing your favorite point of view. I know you're waiting in the distance. Why would it be distant, Mike? Yeah, I suppose there's a timeline to these things. I guess we kind of do have to wait for you to make your move, right? We have to wait and see if Linkin Park does anything. Up until this point, everything that I could have ever said about you or the band or the music, now, it would have been speculative. It would have just been speculative. That's it. But you went ahead and handed us everything on a silver platter because of some reason. I'm not going to say it's because of an ego trip. I'm just going to say that something's going on. Again, if they start asking you to participate in the Church of Scientology, cut the cord. Let you cut me open just to watch me bleed. I bleed it out, digging deeper just to throw it away. Yeah, you are throwing it away. Gave up who I am for who you wanted me to be. I'm trying to bend the truth. I'm lying my way from you. know. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, you know what's up. Don't know why I'm hoping for what I won't receive. Oh, you don't know why you're hoping for things that you think you'll never actually receive? Yeah, I wonder what it's like to be on the other side of your wonderful platform. Music for Relief, Linkin Park, whatever the fuck else you got going on. Oh, Machine Shop, there you go. He's like, I didn't write any albums in the meantime. He literally dropped volume 4 of... He just released volume 4 of Drop Frames. He just released new songs for the Scream movie. He just released. He's been releasing nonstop. He fucking Twitch streams. What are you talking about, Mike? This is almost as cringeworthy as like... when he's like, I don't even know if I canceled a show before. And you're like, you've literally canceled shows at every tour. Every tour you've ever had, you've canceled at least 2 shows. Some tours, like, I believe it was the Japan tour when Chester blew his disc, you cut the whole thing out. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyways, falling for the promise of the emptiness machine. The emptiness machine. So you're falling for the promise of the emptiness machine. Now keep in mind, everybody calls Linkin Park the machine. And that's also, there's also another symbolic tie-in because Mike and Brad's label is Machine Shop. Okay? So I'm kind of confused about the lyrics so far. You're talking about somebody sharpening their knives, waiting in the distance for you. You know they're coming and you're sad because you're not going to get what you think you deserve. But you feel sad about feeling sad about that. It's already under your skin. They always do this to you. But you know how it ends. You'll end up compromising what you want to be what they want. Okay? Who made you do that? Weird. And then you keep falling for the promise of the very career, the very industry that you choose to entrap yourself in. You said it yourself. We don't want to be a new band. We want to be Linkin Park. We don't want to have to start from scratch. We want to be able to start from where we left off and use all of our expertise over the years that we've gained through these subtle interactions, these hidden sessions that we've been playing and all these other things. And then, you see? Very fucking weird. And then Emily comes around. And what does she have to say? Going around like a revolver. What a weird line, to be honest. But I won't stop there. I'll read the whole thing. Because there is a fire under the altar. Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. Going around like a revolver. It's been decided how we lose. Because there's a fire under the altar. I keep on lying to. There you go. And then it goes back to the already pulling me in business. And then the chorus again. Because, by the way, did you know the song only has a total of 20 words in it? But he's so stoked about it. It's the best album ever. I mean, fuck. If Zane Lowe accidentally said that he really did listen to the entire album and Mike almost dropped him right there on stage, like, imagine what other kind of stuff is in here. Oh, wait, we'll get back to that. Because Zane said something at the very end of the interview, and I'm very curious to see what some of you have to think about it. It's like the last second. If you miss it, you miss it, but it's right there. So again, Emily's verse, quote unquote, is going around like a revolver. It's been decided how we lose. Because there's a fire under the altar I keep lying to. Okay, well, we have some religious symbology here. Let's break it down. So not only do we have reference to a gun, but we have the reference to cyclical patterns. Revolver, revolving, right? Except for revolving is not the same as revolver. It's not. It's not the same thing. Going around like a revolver. It's been decided how we lose. So who's going around like a gun? And who's determining who wins and loses and what's the game? And what's the teams? Who's walking around with a gun deciding which teams make it, which groups make it? Because there's a fire under the altar. Oh, so there's a magical altar and there's some kind of ceremony involved. Okay. Interesting. I keep lying to it. So you're doing magic and you're lying to the magic. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. It's super important, okay? Don't do that. When you enter into the other side without a pure heart, without a strong sense of self and mind, one that's been purified to be able to withstand the darker nature of our being, you can't lie to it. You cannot go into a thing that requires you to be mindful, Emily, and just start saying shit for no reason, or saying only what you want to hear, doing only what you want to see, unless, you do want to do that. So, yeah, very weird. And pairing all of that alter speak and that, which, by the way, fire is a metaphysical element as well as, just like a symbol. It's also safe to say that altar is not necessarily an altar, as in an altar of ceremonial significance. It can also be an alternate personality or a character you put on. Okay? So you have Mike saying that someone's in the distance, sharpening their blades with precision, flashing their favorite point of view, that they know that thing is waiting for them, and that they know what's going to happen, that it's under their skin, that it's pulling them in, that he knows how it ends. It ends with him being cut open, specifically for the purpose of being bled, of being hurt, of being in pain, of being made to suffer. That he's going to have to give up what he wants for the will of another person or another thing, another entity, an altar. That they don't know why they're hoping for an alternate reality where they get what they want, because they know they're not going to get their basic needs met. They know they're not going to be received as an individual. And that they keep falling for the promise of the machine, of the industry that they happen to be entrapped in or happen to, surround themselves within, nest themselves within. And then Emily talks about walking around like a gun, decided who's going to lose and who's going to win, and that there's some kind of magical ceremony going on where there's deceit involved. And then Mike goes, I only wanted to be part of something. I only wanted to be part of. Like that. It sounds like that. It's really silly. He does that. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. I hope you choke on your lies. Swallow up your greed. He literally only uses old Linkin Park mechanics and lyrics in this song, guys. He's talking about the face that hides beneath the skin. He's talking about being paranoid, looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like a... Guys, come on. He hasn't said anything new here, and everybody's like, this is a banger. This is like the most Linkin Park song of all... No, it's not. Shut your face. What the hell are you talking? You don't listen to Linkin Park. Somebody told me today, they're like, you always hated Linkin Park. I was like, 1, I consider these men my family. 2, I know the discography like the back of my hand. I'm basically a Linkin Park scholar. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But you don't know me either. You didn't ask.
You literally before were giving my props like, nah, dude.
Literally.
You literally make cool
even
shit.
as...
Like, you're doing shit. It's
bro.
just like... And again, you can move however you fucking want to move, but it's interesting to see the ways that you choose to move and not to move.
No, I literally...
How you choose to critique other people or ignore other people.
Yes, the energy you choose to give is the energy we get. So the the crazy thing is...
The person you show is the person you're perceived to be. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? The way you hold yourself happens to be the way you do. Hold yourself. No, there was a thing specifically about that. Maybe it will come back. It slipped away because we probably don't need to talk about it right now in specific. But you can't... This song is literally just the verse and the... They call it a bridge. They call the I only want to be part of something a bridge. It's not a bridge. Sorry. It's a shit bridge. My bad. It could be a bridge. I'm a musician. I understand. Oh, yeah, that was it. I literally, in June, I was talking about Linkin Park lyrics and dissecting them on my YouTube. And I also talked about Post-Traumatic 6-year anniversary. And I went through 2 songs, 3 songs. And I pointed out the way in which he speaks and how he never talks about my dad the same way he still never talks about my dad. How disrespectful that was. And it was like, even while I was dissecting his music, and even while I was talking shit, so supposedly, allegedly, by some opinions, I still said he's a phenomenal songwriter. I give him props. I think that he's literally too smart to be playing this stupid. I said it. I said he's a genius. I said he's fucking cool. I said he knows what he's doing. I didn't say he was a hack. I said he knows exactly what the fuck is up. That's what I said. This is a terrible song. That's literally all the lyrics. I'm not missing any. I'm not just like not saying it. At the very end, the very end of the Linkin Park reunion reboot interview, Zane Lowe, at the very end, he goes, dude, I gotta talk to you about that new album. I mean, Keys to the Kingdom. Keys to the Kingdom. Keys to the king. Keys to the keys to the keys to the. Guys, I'm gonna give you like a couple of seconds to try this on your own. Think back to that live performance that just happened. What albums were played the least, and what albums were not played at all? Ask yourself. Go ahead, take a second. Look at the playlist. Look at the playlist from this event 2 days ago. And tell me what albums were not played at all and which albums were played the least.
Sorry, I heard you talking about the end, and I remembered that in the end he had been like, so like, see guys, you guys are all confused and only getting bits and pieces, but I'm literally here also only getting bits and pieces and just as confused. And then at the end he was like, yeah, well, thanks to all of you guys for talking however you're talking, and for you, what's his name? For you being the only one who actually was like a bit genuine, like something in that realm. I know that's not the exact words, but he was talking about Joe, right?
He was like, Zane was like, this was difficult. We got at least a little bit of genuine out of this guy, but nobody else.
I know.
It was Joe.
I wanted to clarify because I came in being like, they literally all talk this way, but I was like, I do acknowledge that Joe was being more genuine and sharing his feelings, and we both were talking about that when we were watching it and acknowledging how that looks. But
yeah,
just to say that, like, it's interesting that it was acknowledged but brushed under.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, Joe was thrown away. Joe's the artist. Joe's the one who. And I don't understand how all the shows can be sold out, by the way. Just like an aside, I don't understand how all the shows could be sold out or close to sold out, given that the music video literally talks down to you. The Emptiness Machine doesn't give a fuck about you. You understand that, right? Like, for all the diehard fans out there who are like, still like, Mike's my guy. No. Mike Shinoda is the multi-million-dollar entity sitting in front of his canvas whining about his pretentious art, which is literal bullshit and lies. It's deceit and lies. And every other member of the band, what did they do? They worked in a cubicle. It was so stupid and boring, they didn't want to do it. They worked in mail delivery. So stupid, they didn't want to do it. Yeah, you know who doesn't want to fucking deliver for UPS? UPS fucking drivers. Because all of that is fucked. And yeah, you could thank Trump for that shit in part. We all know what happened during 2020. That shit was gnarly. All that defunding and all that. We're gonna uproot all of the infrastructure. Yeah, okay. And then we have fucking Joe working at a fast food restaurant. They're talking down to you. To me. We're normal people. We do normal people shit. I worked at fucking Safeway. I fucking get it. I work Goodwill. I work Sam's Club. I fucking get it. G works fucking gas stations. We're normal people. But no. I just want to be part of something. Shut up. You're almost 50.
And sorry, the last thing. I'm in the shower, so I'm hearing you more right now. Or I'm trying to get in the shower.
Yeah.
There was a part in there where they were talking about how, like, we don't deserve, like, you guys don't deserve to just be doing any show. Of course you had to do big stadiums. I was like,
yeah,
you could do that. They're like, we didn't get to do this. We had to go away.
He's so full of shit.
The rug was pulled underneath us when
Chester slipped away.
And I was like, but you could, and you did, Mike. Mike, you actually led multiple different shows and sustained a platform, and all of you guys could have kept doing like things here and there, just being part
Homie,
of
you're more than
communities
capable of
and
starting your own band.
expressing your art.
You are.
And doing all of that stuff. You could all do that. If it's being like a mental thing, like, oh, we just couldn't do that. Like,
Yeah.
okay, but then you go on to say, like, nah, you guys didn't deserve to be in any kind of thing. You deserve the big stadiums. You know what you deserve. It was like, what? Y'all?
It's weird.
If it's for the music, let it be for the music. But it sounds like it's for the ego.
And all of the
Y'all
arena
talk
shows,
about how much you don't deserve to be the everyday person.
No, for real. And then the only reason the arena shows are where they are is because that's where they have the most cultural affluence. That's where they can spend their wealth, because that's where they know people will buy into it. They got LA, where they grew up. They got Colombia. They got South Korea. They got London. Right? Those are all places that are like hubs. Like London is the fucking European hub. Yeah, Germany's really big over there, but you know what's really close? London. Okay? That's crazy, dude. Like, anyways. Let's see here. I was saying about... There's just like a lot of double standard, I think. I think that there's just like a lot of like Mike whining about being rich and then taking advantage of all the people who are just, they've been radicalized. And then people are like, Jamie, you're in a cult. You're a cult leader, Jamie. If I'm a cult leader, then you're a cult leader. If what I'm doing is that fucking weird, then what you're doing is that much weirder, Mike and Linkin Park. I literally, in June, just said Mike Shinoda shows all the signs of being a colonial groomer. A colonist who grooms people for their souls. And then he had, then literally his idea of like the best thing ever was to have a secret LPU showcase where he had everyone attending pay for themselves. And he didn't even tell them where the fucking location was so they could get something close to the fucking location to stay at, to eat at. I would be pissed if somebody asked me, they're like, hey, guess what? You get to come see me for free. Oh, that's great. It's going to be in 3 days. I'm not telling you where it is. You just got to show up in the city. And it's one of the most expensive and traffic heavy cities on this side of the U.S. Oh, fuck. Okay. Like I said, I talked to somebody who spent over $800 for a show that was less than 60 minutes, to hear the vocalist blow out after 3 songs, to hear only one new single, to hear Mike Shinoda tell everybody that they're Chester as he sings their greatest hits with a fucking smirk on his face. Before What's Her Bucket literally goes, oh yeah, Mike, tell me how to do this 8 months ago. Not to mention that the hardest fucking thing she did all night was stand on the drums for 10 seconds. Chester would have been out there fucking spinning, running, throwing sweat on people. They even had most of the band facing out. They're like, this was made specifically for the live stream. But like, did we get a 360 view of the room, guys? I'm just curious. Did anybody notice? Or did we just get a 180? It was built for the live stream. It was shaped the way it was shaped. But guess what? The cameras only go this way. You know what is... I hands down... Being live in concert, watching Tyler, the Creator, say, I'm a homosexual, would literally be better than going to the show that was live streamed the other day. Hands down. Hearing Tyler all sweaty, out of breath, go, I'm a homosexual, would have been funny as fuck, relatable as fuck. It would have been sick, because I'm sure that he would have had a kick-ass artist around him, and it wouldn't be fucking petty like this. Hands down. And I've never been to a Tyler show. I always wanted to be, but whatever. I don't give a fuck. I know the energy. I know what the fuck is up. I don't need to be there to know. I know. Okay? But like, honestly, everyone except for Dave and the band is worth tens of millions of dollars. If not just 10 plus. Linkin Park knew they had fans. How much you want to bet that I got a little too fucking fiery for them? I got too big, too loud, too fast. And they were like, whoa, wait, what, fuck, shit, hey, whoa, where'd this come from? Oh my God. And then I was like, no. And they're like, oh, fuck. You know? I'm starting to think that Kyle Christner might be like Jamie a little bit. I'm starting to think that Kyle Christner might have been out there trying to protect the rights of people. Because he did not litigate within the statute of limitations periods. Okay? He went after. He went in the winter in between Meteora and the Greatest Hits Paper Cut album. That's 3 waves of nostalgic repercussions. How do you know Kyle didn't just jump in there at the end and go, wait, I see the scope of this. Hold on. Hey, hold on, wait. Slow the fuck down. 24 songs I'm owed. You told me you removed my parts from Hybrid Theory EP, which you released to LPU. You took my name off the fucking project and kept the fucking bass parts. What's that one grouping on the box set? He wrote 11, he helped write and perform 11 out of 12 of those tracks. And Linkin Park's litigation team had the fucking balls to go, well, he used mostly open-ended statements. He used mostly open-ended statements. A guy came to you with 24 counts of, I know for sure this is mine. I'm going to litigate one of the biggest music companies in the world, your personal label, and the band itself. And he wasn't sure? Yawn. You bore me. You must think I'm stupid. And you know what's crazy is like, so many of these details, they aren't public. So there are so many things that overlap like this that you don't know about. Because, and I don't even know about all of them, because there are people here with totally different perspectives. There are people with totally different perspectives. People who have been in the fucking business conversations. We have people who have been on tour with the band for 20 years. Where's Jim Digby? Somebody find me Jim Digby. Is he going to do this? Why is he not a veteran of the road side of Linkin Park? Why has Jim Digby not said anything about this? Where is everybody? Why am I the only one standing up out here? Why am I the only one acknowledging this stuff out loud? I know that there are people, like normal people doing it. You know, like you guys. Like people who aren't like family or colleagues, right? But like, as far as I'm concerned, every single one of Chester's colleagues has said that this is a perfectly reasonable, wonderful thing to do. It's not. And these are all people who claim to be super close to my dad, and they won't even say his name anymore. You guys are fucking crazy. You make me think I'm invisible. I'm loud as fuck. So, yeah. Let's move on to the heartbreak. Let's move on to getting literally stabbed in the back, okay? So today I'm just chilling. I'm like, my voice is, you know, what it is. And it's just been sore. Like, it's just needed time to recover. And someone who is in my core audience here, someone within the community who I was very close to for a moment. I talked to them all the time. I was there for them in very, specific moments in their life. And their process of healing, because everybody here has been affected by what's going on. Everybody who will be here in the future and is not here present, direct for the live, you have all been affected by the band that is now trying to gaslight you into accepting them despite the fact that they've abused you. Okay? And I'm helping this person through it, right? Because I care. And for no other reason. I never asked for anything. And this whole Toby thing happens, right? Well, Samantha said what she said to me about what I did to my cousin, whatever the hell that means. And how Draven's not my relative and he doesn't fucking like me or whatever the fuck. He's not my blood. Screw you. Yeah, fuck you. It's funny how Draven never has to say any of that for himself. He never has to look me in the eyes. Mama got it for him. But whatever. Still no apology for his hawk strike. His high altitude falcon nosedive that he did on me the other day for no reason. But now it's a couple of weeks, probably 3 weeks ago. But what Samantha had said to me was on the 30th of July. I found out through this person today that they talked to Toby for hours on the 14th and the 15th of August. I've been waiting for Toby to call me back. I was blocked. I've been waiting for anyone in this situation to take what was thrown at me in hate about my cousin seriously. I haven't heard back from my aunt. I haven't heard from my grandmother. I haven't heard from my cousins. I haven't heard from my brother. I haven't heard from his mother. I haven't heard from Renee. No apologies. That illiterate fuck. And here it is. I got someone lying to me, who's right in front of me, lying to me about whether or not they know anything about the situation, about whether or not Toby's responding to phone calls or not. You know what I mean? I was so fucking angry I blew my voice out earlier. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this. I said, you made me that fucking angry. I said, you want to see an executive functioning meltdown? You want to see it in real fucking time? What the fuck is going on right now? How dare you treat me that way? How dare you stand here? The other day, when I brought up the essay victim potential again, because it was the third time, this person came at me and said, if you say one more bad thing about your dad, I'm going to defend him against you. I can't believe you're like this. You're so disrespectful. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're a victim. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I stand up for victims. That's what I do. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I hold truth. I didn't say my dad did it. Some people heard that. I didn't say that. I said there's the potential for something to occur. Just because you didn't hear me doesn't mean I didn't say it. Just because your emotions colored your digestion of the words that I spoke does not mean that that's what I said. You don't get to talk to me like that. They said, well, if you do it again, I'm going to have to aggress against you. And I was like, it's my fucking dad. Who the fuck are you? We were all friends here. And then you literally lied to me. You let that guilt, because guess what? This person was sworn to secrecy by Toby, which is something she likes to do. Make sure nobody else knows what's going on. Oh, can we just have this conversation between us? I don't want anybody else to get dragged in, but it happens to be that anybody else dragged in would be the person she doesn't want to know that she's talking about. Which is what I've been saying, is that my aunt is a liar. And it's just insane. Like, I'm going through all of this. Like, this all literally started on the 7-year death anniversary. I said, I'm so fucking depressed. I'm out here standing alone, screaming into the wind, trying to fucking get this interaction going, trying to stimulate this space in a way so that I can create long-term stability for my investigation into myself and the investigation into my father's death. And I can really build what I wanted to build, which was deconstructed and thrown off balance by a hacker. Who knows? I had an interesting thought. It could have been Brennan, because I told Brennan, Sean Dowdell's oldest son, about what it was that I was doing before Sean found out. And then a couple weeks later, I got the original Concord message, which led to me talking to Sean. And I even told him in that conversation, I think that maybe this is a trap. And I think what happened is you found out that your son talked to me, and now you want to talk to me about this and try to get me into a position. And by the end of it, he had me convinced that he was an ally, almost. By the end of the month, he tried to gaslight me into a fucking fistfight over a video game DLC deal. And then he ignored me for a month and 3 years. But Sean and Mike Shinoda are not the same person. They didn't do the same thing. People feel more comfortable yelling at Sean than they feel comfortable yelling at fucking Mike. Why? Why is there a power dynamic imbalance here? Did anybody ask that question? It's wild. And all of that got thrown off track. I've been telling people for like the last year that this all started off as a life insurance policy, because I knew someone was going to attack me. Then they did. So I had to start saying things, but I had to say coherent things. So I had to start saying total stories and chunks. Bop, 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 bop. This happened. Okay, and then this happened. And then this happened, and this is how they're connected. Okay, and then this happened, and I had to do that in like 30 days. And then I left. And I came back, and I said, guys, we're not where we're supposed to be. This is a transition. We're going to have to transmute this shit. And then I finally did it. By the time I finally do it, it's the death anniversary. I'm like, oh, I'm so sad. I wish people were here. I wish that I was being acknowledged for what I'm doing. You know, I have 3,000 more followers now. I have a core foundation in my community. I've built out the Picture Pieces archive. I've gone a long way in my journey with This Is the Void, which will be a continuous process until justice is fucking justiced. Because I ain't fucking stopping. I'm going hard like a quarterback. I'm not coming back, bitch. I'm going to take it all, and this is never going to happen again. Right? So, it's just so fucking ridiculous. I'm like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I wish people were here. I wish I was taken seriously. And then right after that, Samantha's like, oh, I have your 3 million sold hybrid theory plaque that's just been sitting in my house for a decade. I want to give it to you. Mandel acts as the middleman. One of my dad's old friends who was abused by Samantha ends up taking her side, fucking belittling me. I lose a friend. I get fucking railed by that situation for no reason. He continues to trash talk me to this day. And I end up calling Samantha because he encourages me to do so. She ends up, without apologizing, saying that we should meet. Because we already had a falling out last year. She says we should meet. She wants to give me the plaques in person, and she wants Draven to be there. So she says, hey, we're going to have to do it in this month because Draven's working on his album. I didn't even ask for anything. I said, okay, if you want to do that, we'd do that. Okay, no problem. And then what? I get on the phone with her, and I'm like, hey, this is our history. And she's like, we don't even have enough history to have history. We don't even have enough history to have a fight. Liar. In this year alone, we have enough history to have a fight. Like your CC journalist. Or like your fucking podcast. Shut up. Like the funeral. Like the way that you kept my brother from me. Okay. Yeah, man. You didn't do anything, Samantha. And by the way, it's so fucking funny. Samantha claims that she wrote most of Hybrid Theory and Meteora, and she claimed that to me within the year. And I'm just confused why she's not vocal about this right now. She should be pissed about Linkin Park making profit off of Chester. She should be pissed that they're doing a greatest hits tour. She should be pissed about all of this. But where's Mother Teresa now? Where's punk rock Mother Teresa now? Where's the industry legend herself? I wanted to be catty as fuck the other day. I wanted to just challenge her to a songwriting contest so I could blow her fucking mind. Show her how little she actually knows about what the fuck she's talking about. But I decided not to. Yay, Jamie. You were the bigger person once again. Anyways. Mike had nothing to say about that when I said it. Nobody had anything to say about that. Because nobody fucking believes Sam and what she has to say because she's so busy saying shit all the time that it doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is that there are so many messy, random fucking players in this game that it's just like, it's like watching a season of Fargo, but it's like a crossover between Fargo and Atlanta. And it's just my life, and that's just every day. And so Sam does this whole thing. I have to cut her off because she's giving me a lecture about respect again, and it's like all of a sudden we're back at ground zero. She didn't apologize for anything she did. She took no fucking accountability, the same way Sean didn't take any fucking accountability. Grey Days didn't take any fucking accountability. Draven took zero fucking accountability. Mike Shinoda and the band takes no fucking responsibility or accountability for anything they say or do. And the list goes on. Where's Stone Temple Pilots? Where are they? Where are Ryan and Amir and Julian K? Where are they at? Where are all of Chester's really, 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 really good friends? And where were all of you industry fucks when he died? Where were you? Where are you? Where's Mark Morton? Because I called him out way back when I put up Cross Off and described the entire problem with Cross Off. How he recorded it in April while they were running a press campaign about how he didn't want to sing Angst anymore. He was literally singing Cross Off with Mark Morton. Why did Mark Morton wait 2 years to release that song, bank off the success, not acknowledge anything, and then fucking ignore me when I came out. Where are all of these people? And you know what? I'm going to get mad about this, and I'm going to say it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I'm breaking a promise right now. But you know who also has been seeing everything I've been going through? You know who's been seeing? And this has been weighing on my mind this entire fucking time. Willow Smith. Willow Smith has been looking at my stuff, looking at the mentions. They stopped doing it since they've been on tour. Understandable. But before that, last year through this year, they started watching my stuff when I tagged them. So they know what's going on. The Smith family knows what's going on right now. When I call Jaden out, he knows. When I call Willow out, she knows. When I call Kendrick out, maybe he knows. I don't know. But I have a feeling that I'm a lot more fucking visible than some people are giving me credit for, and I don't fucking appreciate that. You know how fucking lonely and isolated and stupid it makes me fucking feel being behind this fucking glass wall? You're literally on tour. I even hit up Donald Glover asking him for fucking help in a tag. Did I fucking get it? No. These people go on tour together. Crazy. You couldn't even just like let me know on the down low that you fucking saw me and that you're going to be here? That you get it. Just give me a second. I got some stuff to get out of the way. Contractual obligations and shit. Come on. Willow Smith has been seeing my stuff for 6 months. At least. You know how hard it is to listen to an album after that? Someone who used to give me great joy, help me liberate myself in ways that were virtually impossible. Because of the life that I have, the life that you know about, because you're one of me. So either they've seen me and they're just ignoring me, or their press team, their management won't let them talk to me. Which makes a lot of sense because if I remember correctly, the Smith kids are signed out of Rock Nation, right? It's Misfits and Rock Nation, right? So that's Jay-Z. I fucking get it. I get it. I'm calling out one of the biggest machines in the industry. Okay, whatever. That's why I laughed. That video of Jaden I posted a while back. Jaden, you have anything to say to your fans? Me literally sitting over here listening to his albums like, hey, I'm calling the troops. Are you going to holler back or what? And he's over there like, can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. Okay. Fuck, man. Like, it's so brutal. And then it just has to be chill. I just have to be a normal dude over here being totally fucking ignored by anybody that matters in the situation, anybody with real fucking power. No journalists, no news coverage, no fucking acknowledgement of whatever the fuck I'm going through. None of it. Hold on, G popped in.
When you had come home, Mike had started playing like a little clip of one of the songs with Jay-Z, and I was like, that is such,
oh yeah, on the performance he did one of the Collision Course tracks.
Such a big move to fucking make, because like you said, you're a big Jay-Z fan, okay. But are we going to acknowledge that what Jay-Z is in right now?
Yeah, anybody want to acknowledge Jay-Z and Diddy?
How their ties are to Diddy. And
anybody?
How Diddy ties to Will Smith. It's all the same thing. And then we know how they're selling off their people to certain people. Who's to say that Jay-Z isn't selling off his little groupie band?
Who's to say my dad wasn't involved in all that?
Exactly, that's the point. Yeah. It's like there's rumors from family members that Chester was so close with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, my dad was tight with Beyonce and Jay-Z at one point. He would walk around the house like, oh my god, I can't wait to go I'm having fucking dinner with fucking Beyonce later. He would say that shit all the time. For a while, when they did Collision Course, it was like the most exciting thing for him. He's like, dude, I'm in it with Jay-Z and Beyonce. What the fuck?
But they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck.
They're doing their own thing, and that's totally fine because people are allowed to do their own thing and totally forget about the people that they profit off of.
Every time. I literally was like, I'm depressed as fuck. I need to be taken fucking seriously. I'm so sad. Samantha comes out with her fake-ass duplicitous bullshit. Fucking doesn't like the way I talk to her. But I said, no, you need to treat me with respect.
All you asked her was to acknowledge that the way she was talking about ending was not happening.
Yeah, that's right. All I asked from Sam was that she acknowledged the fact that she left this for a reason. Samantha literally says that the Illuminati came after her when she died, or when Chester died. She said that she had to leave the country for a while, her and Draven, and that they had to move to a different state and stay there for a while. She said to me last year and this year, that she was genuinely concerned. She's not concerned about anything else but the Illuminati killing her. Because she was chased out of the country and chased out of the state when Chester died. That's what she said. Okay? I didn't fucking make that up. And when I started telling her, like, hey, Sam, you walked away for this reason and it really wasn't cool and we do have, like, this kind of thing going on. She was like, no, that didn't happen. No, it didn't. And I was like, yes, it is. And that's when the respect conversation started coming up, because I asked her why, if she was so gung-ho to protect the family and stand up for everybody, she never litigated in my defense, knowing that what Sean did to me was wrong, knowing that some of the things that I'd been through over the last 7 years were wrong, knowing that she had the power and I didn't, that I was dirt poor and she had affluence. She said she'd give me resources, community. She'd get me involved in the industry with the right people. She said she would give us money. She said she would do so much. And then she fucking exploded on G during the podcast situation and fucked it all up. Never apologized. Called me on New Year's. I called back, tried to see if she was okay, gave her time. She never came back. And then after I say I'm depressed, she calls me about the fucking plaque, and then she has this entire fucking breakdown with me. Draven comes in and is like fucking trying to chop my head off. He doesn't even know what's going on, like usual. He disappears. He doesn't have to say shit. He's over there hanging out with my cousin, who's the son of the aunt who won't call me back, who this person who stabbed me in the back is talking to secretly halfway through the month of August. Never telling me. All the while getting more and more aggressive with me, telling me more and more that I'm not fucking being respectful, that they're going to aggress against me because of the things I'm saying about my father, which are literally all speculative. I don't know the person that he raped, guys. I don't know what the essay thing is. I don't understand. All I know is that there's a testimony. Okay? I already told this. I already did it. But I have to keep repeating myself all the time. It makes me crazy. And then, And then Sean treats Mace the way he was being treated. At the same time all that was going on, fucking Mace drops out of Gray Days. Sean and Kristen fucking tag team him. He goes into silence. I try to be there for him. He's not responding. I do the video. I start reporting officially. People are asking me to report officially. I'm doing it, and then people aren't fucking listening. That's what happened with the last live stream. I said I'm not fucking doing this anymore because I'm sick and tired of getting up here and giving so much every fucking time, whether it's a video collage on my stories, whether it's reporting and keeping things consistent across the entire archive. That's what I do. And it's like, bro, I got things coming from all angles. I lost fucking Mandel. I had to deal with Sam. Fucking Mace fell out. That shit with Gray Days got fucking worse. Linkin Park comes back acting like they're fucking cheeky with a fucking social media and interactive social media comeback campaign. And it turns out to be that they are so fucking conniving, so deceitful, so diabolical that they played a show before they released the album. They only played one single, played greatest hits, made a schedule for 6 arena shows across the planet. Didn't invite me, didn't talk to me, ignored me entirely. One of its main members watched me from afar, saw what he wanted to see, unfriended me, and restricted me, Mike Shinoda. Never addressed my falling out with his wife, which I could equate to the Mandel situation. I'll go into Anna at a different time because, like I said, I'm not stringing this along. I'll talk about Anna when the time is right. It's not time yet. And to do this all right before, and the stuff with Gray Day started in Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Fucking troll. And then a month passed, and now we're here. Right? It was June, July, and then it was August, September, so 2 months passed. And now it's Suicide Prevention Month. It's a fucking international thing, okay? And Linkin Park does this. They don't even acknowledge my father who died by alleged suicide. They hired a fucking Scientologist rape apologist who only now said sorry because, whoops, I made a mistake. Which is true. That does happen. But you don't just say, oops, I made a mistake without recognizing any of the victims, which is, again, why I feel like I need to be up here, because I'm a victim. And I need to voice my opinion. But also, so many of you are victims. Repeated victims. It's awful. No, that's what I'm saying. Is like for Emily to say that she's just sorry, to unfriend Danny Masterson literally yesterday, but not offer an apology or an exact statement about all the aspects of the actual problem and just say, hey guys, you don't know me, sorry, bye. Fucking crazy. And that interview was just wild. And the interview after that was even crazier. Like, to say that you got knocked down. To say that as a band you were knocked down and you just got to get back up. You weren't fucking knocked down. My father died. It's just brutal. It's brutal. It's Game of Thrones level brutal. And I'm not talking about the new Game of Thrones. I'm talking about the OG Game of Thrones. I'm talking about like Red Wedding. That's what I'm talking about. It's that brutal, okay? And it never stops. And, I was thinking about it and I was like, there's got to be... This has got to be like an unprecedented thing. Like, there isn't anyone out there doing what I'm doing. I got to kill yourself last night. I got to kill yourself last night. I got to kill yourself last night. We reached 2017 level fan toxicity. The second Chester died. Oh, you should go kill yourself. You should have known better. You should have fucking been there for him. What the fuck is wrong with you? You must not even be worth it. You must be the worst fucking son ever. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna break your fucking teeth out. Okay. No, yeah. G's over there like, when you met me, you had those messages. Yeah, they're right. When I met G in 2019, I was still getting those fucking messages. That's why when that guy was like, dude, take a joke. Dude, it's been 20 years. They shouldn't be joking about being bad musicians and phony fucking friends. They're grown-ass adults. It's not funny anymore. When Mike and Brad and Dave start to fuck around in the Zane Lowe interview, it's not enjoyable. Zane literally looks at the camera and he goes, well, that's all we're getting. You wanted straight answers? It's not happening. That's just not happening. That's just what it is. And looks back and he sits forward. And then they keep fucking talking about nothing. 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 They're not talking about shit. It sounds to me like Dave and Mike took advantage of Joe, used his justifications as motivation, tied in Brad, who's a business mind, who literally appears to only be business and no empathy. And then they got two legacies, transplants, into the band. People who grew up on the music, people who are fanatical about it. I mean, what did they didn't say where they met Emily. Why? Who fucking knows? But they did say they'd known her for years. The person they said they very clearly how they met was Colin. Colin said that he worked so that he could get in the studio with Mike because he wanted to meet Mike so bad, but he didn't even tell Mike that until long after their initial session because he didn't know how to say it because he didn't want it to be weird, which is fair. That is a totally reasonable, real-life thing to go through. But no, you don't get to replace Rob like that. Where's Rob? Has anybody seen Rob? He came out for Hybrid Theory, and then he disappeared, like he usually does. But where's his statement? Where's Rob's statement? Not Mike's bullshit fucking, well, for years now we thought maybe he didn't want to be involved. So, like, maybe, I don't know. But he wasn't even involved in Hybrid Theory when he was literally on the fucking screen. I said this to somebody today. I was like, hey, like, maybe I'm freaking out, but like, is not the pattern behind Rob's head in the Hybrid Theory box set interview the same pattern on the cup of coffee that Mike Shinoda's holding in the first half of the Zane Lowe interview? Call me crazy. But is that not true? You know what I saw when I saw Mike on stage? And Zane Lowe literally go, dude, this is crazy. Like, you're, I don't know how to say this, but you're literally psycho. And they just walk through it. The amount of times that Mike Shinoda, again, went, what the fuck? I'll fucking cut you, bitch. What the fuck did you just say? Was hilarious. Like, literally. Oh, yeah, you know, when we were talking before, you know, but when the cameras weren't around and you were telling me what to say? Yep. If you watch that scene again, where they're talking and Mike throws the under there and he gulps really loud, you can see there's a cut. And he's looking down like this. Dying inside. Like, he's like, I have no idea what's going to happen. And then Zane says something and he goes, yeah, so, and then he stops and he goes, this is actually what the story is, and yeah, it's more like that and less like, so yeah, and then I think what people don't understand is that, you know, like, I'll do a bunch of like work and then like disappear, and then I'll come back, and then the audience has to catch up, and you know, sometimes the music's like way weird and wacky because, you know, like, you've been away for so long. It's like, why do you talk about music like that? Why do you talk about music like it's not just a genuine expression of your fucking emotions? Why do you talk about the music like you're creating a product and not creating an expression of self? Why? Why do you talk about this entire thing like it's only money? That's crazy. You remember that part of the interview where Mike had to be like, hey, Emily, no, stop. That's not what happened. So here's what happened. How many times during the interview did Mike shut everybody up and then correct the story? How many times? There was this part where Dave lost all of his energy. I wonder if any of you guys noticed this. He's sitting... Every time the guys are like pissed, you can see them sitting like this. They're like, fuck. Dave did that. His tone went from like, yeah, this is so fun. I love everybody. Like, wow, this is literally just music. Like, we could literally just vibe, guys. Like, I'm literally like, he gave the same story that Colin and Emily gave. Well, when I was young, music inspired me. And so I was inspired by music. And so I like music. In specific, I like Linkin Park. So, I like music. And it's like, well, there's got to be more to that, right? Like, there's got to be more of a fucking perspective on that, right, guys? No, Colin doesn't speak again. And when Emily speaks, she literally tells Dave, you'll never know when this started for me. This is all weird. Why didn't you guys get all of the dirty laundry out first? Come out with a cohesive statement and say, hey, look, we have this new drummer, we have this new singer, and we really like them. And we know there's some history. We want to clear that up. We want to give a positive statement to the fans about how we respect them and what we're willing to do to meet them halfway, and how these past issues with Emily are things that she's willing to move away from into the future toward healing, and she's not like that anymore. And like, you know, we really acknowledge Chester and how much of an impact he had on the band, but not just that. We want to talk about what really happened with him. Let's clarify some of these weird things, like how we haven't brought up anything about the Tony Rakakis letter, detailing the human trafficking operation, or the weird non-statements from management about changing the rideshare time for Chester's final assignment with Linkin Park. There's so many fucking things that they should have said in a blanket statement to the audience, to the investors. Because let's be honest here. Every one of the people who decides that they're going to pay for Linkin Park tickets, pay for merch, buy the album, participate in the vinyl, all those people, they aren't fans. What are they? Shareholders. They're shareholders. That's what they are. You have a stake in a corporation called Linkin Park. And every time you participate in it, you see too the longevity and the prosperity of that corporation. It's not a band.
I've literally so many times on YouTube put not interested or don't share the like Linkin Park whatever account,
Yeah.
and it keeps giving me like their shorts, and I just got like 3 of their like buy our things, buy our vinyls, hey, our stuff is out now, come buy it. And it's like, you literally have 1 song out, you don't have an album.
No.
If you're trying to say you're a new band and buy your new band shit, then let me see you as the new band before you expect me to buy into the shit. Like, also, I said I'm not interested, stop giving me this shit. You're saying it's like it's its own thing, which is like so funny, because it's like, you know, the corporations are pushing it so hard. How many times have I said don't share this shit, and I'm still getting it?
YouTube's the worst. You tell YouTube that you don't want something, it sends you 5 more things like it. For real. We all know this. We know what corporate overlords look like. And get this, on top of everything, they want to do this. They want to do the world tour, and then they want to be back. They want to be back by the 11th of November, which is 4 days before the album releases. They expect this. They play the show, they give the song. You guys all love it. Of course you do, right? That's the expectation. Here's our merch, our touring schedule, our new album. We're going to tour Paper Cuts as the reunion tour, and we are going to play a couple of singles every once in a while off the new album, which is under lock and key. It's extremely, locked away. It's so safe and so leak proof, okay? But it's not. Somebody leaked that shit. I'm not encouraging anyone to do anything illegal. I'm just saying whoever gave Zane Lowe that copy of the album that Mike Shinoda was so surprised that Zane Lowe got a hold of, I would be happy to listen to it. I would like that. So whoever ticked Zane Lowe off, hit me up. Let's talk about it. I would like to hear the album. Thank you. They want to go on this tour, which they expect to sell out arenas, which apparently they already have. And by the way, again, there's no fucking way that Mike Shinoda thought he didn't have fans anymore. He's been building his career this entire time. He has not been away. He has not been silent. In fact, I would even say that Post Traumatic is the 8th album, and that From Zero is their 9th album. I'm not going to call any of Mike Shinoda's solo stuff anything but Linkin Park from now on. That's my opinion. Because this Emptiness Machine is the same stupid, lazy songwriting that came from Mike for the last 7 years. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm saying that Post Traumatic is literally a tragedy. And disrespectful. And they want to come home on the 11th, and then 4 days later they want to release their new album, because that means they'll do the reunion tour and the new album prep tour at the same time. Just like they used the LPU show as a showcase, which is something I had predicted. And my prediction is that this album is something they've been building for 7 years. That each of these live sessions that they held is actually a featured artist on the album, that they broke down those sessions, reorganized them into a proper album. Like they said, the Emptiness Machine was almost totally finished by the time that Emily got on it. And they realized now the missing crown jewel of the entire thing is Chester's tone. So they got a Chester cosplayer. No, she's not impersonating Chester. Don't get that wrong. She's not. When you sing a song, it sounds like a song, right? If I sang a Willow song, even though I can't hit a lot of the more flexible moments that she can, not with the way that my voice is thrashed on a weekly basis, but it would still sound like a Willow song because the harmonies and the fucking melody and the words, okay? So I understand that, but here's the thing. If you're going to tour as a fucking cover band, then be a cover band. Linkin Park is officially a cover band until they're done with this world tour. Period. And to make everything that much more stupid, that much more poorly thought out, that much more insensitive, that much more challenging to digest, Brad is literally not playing live anymore. He hired a guitar tech to play all of his parts, so he gets to be on the album cover, he gets to be the credit on the song, but he doesn't have to play for you. He doesn't have to play for you. And he's trying to get you all to feel like he's doing a good thing. He's like, yeah, I like to be in the office. I like the corporate office. I'm not a street cop. I'm a sergeant. I like to be in the office. I was a beat cop for a while so that I didn't have to be a beat cop anymore, okay? Now, Mike's a bruiser. Mike likes, he's a ground cop. He likes that. He likes knocking door to door. He likes it when when you're out there. But me, I'm a calm guy. I like to sit right here. I like to pencil push. I like the way paper feels. I smell it sometimes. And here's the thing. 100%, Mike Shinoda used your emotions to test avenues of profit. He brought out Hybrid Theory to see how people would react. He released so much music. Okay? So much, right? Unreleased stuff, old LPU stuff. And he went, okay, great, this is all good. And then what happened? Meteora came along. He said, oh, we're going to do that for Meteora too, but this time we're going to add AI-generated art and music videos, and we're also going to add singles. We're going to pawn off our old demos, which were incomplete, but roughly in the state of being complete, just like Friendly Fire. I wonder what kind of magic tricks they pulled on Lost. So they could see not only how the old heads responded to Hybrid Theory, but also how the young people and the old heads together collectively respond to the single. And then they have the greatest hits album. So they pull out all of the songs from all their albums that they think are worth it, and they put them on the Paper Cuts album, which they're about to go tour. So what I'm saying is that he did all three of these things very much so knowing that he was testing the water so they could go on tour. Mike said at the end of the interview, this is something that's been under wraps for years. They didn't start writing it 8 months ago. They started writing it as early as 2019, possibly 2017. They released the box set. They released both of the box sets. And then gave a greatest hits album so they could do the reunion tour and use that as a platform to launch the new album. The same way Mike did it with Post Traumatic. The same way that Grey Days did it. Period. Geez, like, they can hear me talking about this from the other room. And I think that's shit. I think that's a totally manipulative tactic. So he's known he's been writing a Linkin Park album for years. He's been keeping it under wraps. He's been including session artists as featured artists, which is why Emily thought she was a featured artist. This is just my thought, but this is why Emily thought she was an artist that was featured on the album and not a core principal vocalist. And to have Brad be like, I'm going to sit back here as if he's not back there, literally being like, oh, the kids didn't like that one. Oh, well, they were mixed on that one. Well, maybe if we take this one and do that, then we could do this. It's like he's Batgirl, okay? Mike is Batman. And all of his band members are his Robins. Except for Brad, who sits in the back in the control center and takes statistical data on the live experiment that is Linkin Park. And then Mike goes out and he actually applies that knowledge. So they create a business model in the back, And then they actualize that business model in real time to see if you'll interact with it the way they think that you will. It's what's happened. How many years now has Linkin Park said, well, we get together every once in a while, but we're not really sure if we're ever going to do anything? Again, I swear in that Zane Lowe interview that happened yesterday, they said they hadn't met Zayn in a long time, but who was in the last Zane Lowe interview from last year? Mike, Brad, and Dave. And what did Zane Lowe say during that interview? You put the bow on it. It's over. It's done. One More Light at this point in time has over 1.5 billion plays on Spotify. So I'm going to wrap this back around to you guys. Do any of you remember what music was played at the show, what albums were not touched during that performance, and which ones were touched the least? I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to read the comments because I see a lot of people talking. What music was played and what music wasn't? And somebody, oh yeah, G made a good point just now. Somebody told me that Bleed It Out is the last song that Chester played live. I don't know if that's true, but if anybody has clips of that or knowledge of like what that date was or anything, then please send it to me. Because I would love for the last song of the incredible Linkin Park comeback to be the last song that he ever sang, and Mike be singing it to the audience as Chester, who he has said is Chester, which is so weird, by the way, because if you remember, I've been the one to be interacting with people this way. I'm the one saying, hey, if you guys could surrogate this particular relationship for me, that would be awesome, as my witness, as my viewer. Sean Dowdell and Mike Shinoda, as well as Linkin Park as a whole, their entire effort, they copy me. They are dissing me. They are copying me. Hands down. I mean, yeah, it's always my opinion, but look, here's the thing. I watched Grey Days strip aesthetic from my music video about my relationship with my father, and then create multiple other music videos in the style of what I did without any credit. I see Sean Dowdell's Facebook post about Mace. He says, this is just the Cliff Notes, if only you knew. Gives a timeline. Gives his perspective. Just like Jamie would. Writes response and puts 5 Grey Days song lyrics down. These people are literally teasing me. I know you're asking what Anna did. Hold on, I'm asking you guys about the music. Anybody? Anybody know what albums were not touched? Yeah, you guys are saying Bleed It Out was the last song of the last concert. That's true. They didn't play one song from One More Light. Good job. That's one of the albums. Let's see. Does anybody else know what the other album was that they didn't touch? One More Light is one of the 2 albums they did not touch. Haunting Party. Good job, Bonnie. Nice. They didn't touch music from the Hunting Party or One More Light. They played, I think, one song off of Living Things. And people want to tell me I didn't like Linkin Park. People want to tell me I don't know Linkin Park. I fucking know Linkin Park. I know it. I know how many songs. I know what songs are on Living Things. I could tell you just by listening. I could probably tell you what the lyrics were too. I could probably even sing it back to you. Why didn't they do One More Light? They could have acknowledged Chester by singing One More Light, couldn't they? It seems like an easy solution. But they had Emily sing Lost. Fucked. That's fucked up. They didn't touch the Hunting Party, which, by the way, what did Zayn say at the end of the interview? I said it. He said, I got to talk to you about that album, Keys to the Kingdom. So they're saying that there are ties to Keys to the Kingdom the hunting party on this new album. That's insane. So, I don't know. They did pretty much, they made Castle of Glass sound like it was off of 1,000 Suns. So they are aware of the contextuality of their music, the intertextuality of their lyricism and their musical mechanisms. They understand that they're writing operas that are interconnected. They get it. They know. And they played everything from 2010 to 2000. And then they played everything from... Well, that's pretty much it, right? They played 2000 to 2010. And then they played one song off of 2012. And then they didn't play anything from 2014 or 2017. Do you see? Do you see what I'm saying? Isn't that fucking weird? Isn't that sketchy? I'm fully prepared for this album to be a diss track against me. Because in reality, I swear to God, they're messing with me. And you think that, if you think that it's just the thing I mentioned just now about Mike, that makes me think that. It's not. What is nothing? What is null? Because this is the void. Right? He picked a symbol with a meaning that ties to zero, of course. But it also fundamentally ties back to my social movement, my interactions with social media, my investigation into Chester's death, my holding people like him accountable for his actions. Right? And there's nothing anybody can say reasonably to distance those associations. Because, as I said when I was dissecting Linkin Park lyrics and Mike Shinoda lyrics for Post Traumatic, he's talking about sixing people in the industry, y'all. He's talking about fucking putting people in the grave. I'm gonna be that nail in your coffin, saying that I softened. I was ducking down to reload. Literally, you guys want to pull up, watch this. Listen carefully now. Now that we've had these conversations, now that we've seen these interactions, now that we know what's going on, listen to this. I'm going to read you When They Come For Me. Again. I'm going to read you the lyrics to When They Come For Me off of the 2010 Linkin Park album, 1,000 Suns. And I want you to tell me that he isn't saying this. Let's go. From Zero. What a bad name for an album, too. You couldn't call it like Square the Circle or fucking anything. You had to fucking say something as pointless as From Zero. We're all from zero, ho. Okay. 2010. 1,000 Suns. Ooh. The bonus edition. Which ones are bonus on this? Oh, live performances. That's cool. Oh, also I love that, like, the first, wasn't it the first song on the track list was the Requiem? Like, does Mike not understand the words that he uses? Does he not know what Requiem means? Does he not know what he's doing there and how it might affect the actual, like, energy of the room? Like, a Requiem is a holy rite of passage. It's a death. It's a moving to the next stage. It's a celebration of life. You put Requiem in there, and then you put the Catalyst in there. Right? Requiem says, God save us, everyone. Will we burn inside the fire of 1,000 suns? For the sins of our hands, sins of our tongue, the sins of our father, the sins of our young. Crazy. But he's not saying anything, guys. He will die on the hill that he said nothing by saying that. Let's see. We're going to do When They Come For Me. Let's do it. I'll even give it a little mic swag. We'll do it. Ready? I am not a pattern to be followed. The pill that I'm on is a tough one to swallow. I am not a criminal, not a role model, not a born leader. I'm a tough act to follow. I'm not the fortune and the fame, nor the same person telling you to forfeit the game. I came in the ring like a dog on a chain. And I found out that the underbelly is sicker than it seems. And it seems ugly, but it can get worse. Because even a blueprint is a gift and a curse. Because once you get a theory, a hybrid theory, of how the thing works, everybody wants the next thing to be just like the first. And I am not a robot. I am not a monkey. I will not dance even if the beat is funky. Opposite of lazy, far from a punk. I said that shit. There's two punks in the world. There's me and there's you, Mike. Opposite of lazy, far from a punk. Y'all ought to stop talking, start trying to catch up, motherfucker. I've been saying that for how long now? And all the people say, I've been saying all of this. You are such a little bitch. Sorry, that one was for my dad. Lauren said, money changes situation. Oh, wait, are we talking about Lauryn Hill? Because Mike doesn't rap like that. He doesn't know what artists are, guys. He just makes remixes. He just mixes things together. That's just what he does. He doesn't know things. He'll talk to you for hours about things that he thinks that you are privileged to know, but he'll tell you straight out that you're not privileged and that he doesn't know anything. Lauren said money changed the situation. Big said it increased the complication. Kane said don't step, I ain't the one. Chuck said that Uzi weigh a motherfucking ton. And I'm just a student of the game that they taught me. They taught me. They taught me. They taught me. Rocking every stage and every place that it brought me. It brought me. Haiti. I'm awfully underrated, but came here to correct it. And so it ain't mistaken, I'ma say it for the record, I am the opposite of whack, opposite of weak, opposite of slack, synonym of heat. Like a sun? Like 1,000 suns, maybe? Synonym of crack, closest to a peak, far from a punk. Y'all ought to stop talking. Start trying to catch up. And what does Chester say? Oh, when they come for me, I'll be gone. Why? What are you talking about? You're saying that you were a dog on a leash being led into a game, which in the hunting party, you call a money laundering scheme. You have a feature called Rakim, which, by the way, for them to say, again, I'm going to reiterate this. I said this recently. For them to say, as a band, that they first opened the doors to work with new people during One More Light is the most absurd bullshit ever, because all of the hunting party is basically featured artists, which is the album directly before One More Light. Mike is just not good with lying about things. He just does not understand. Let's keep walking through the album. Let's read more lyrics, guys. What about Waiting for the End? Because this is the song that I thought Emily would have a really hard time with, and I was right, because guess what? Chester knew it was fucking hard. I watched him do it on SNL. I was there when I met Justin Bieber, and I was there at SNL with Alyssa. I watched him perform, waiting for the end. Mike says, this is not the end, this is not the beginning. Just a voice like a riot rocking every revision. But you listen to the tone and the violent rhythm, and though the words sound steady, something empties within them, emptiness machine. Yeah, it's like everything you say is empty, bro. But okay, sure, I guess you could kind of get away with it if that's what you fucking want to do, but you don't have to live on lies. I believe there's a Kuko line about that. It says, there's a line that says you can't get by with a lie. It's a fact. We say, yeah, with fists flying up in the air, like we're holding on to something that's invisible there. Because we're living at the mercy of the pain and the fear until we dead. Forget it, let it all disappear. What? Waiting for the end to come, wishing I had strength to stand. The more I hear this album, the more I think that Chester saw his death coming, by the way. This is not what I had planned. It's out of my control. Flying at the speed of light, as if detached from the body. So many things were left unsaid. Oh, interesting. It's hard to let you go. Keep in mind that Linkin Park's idea of moving through trauma or anything difficult is to literally forget about it and leave it alone. I know what it takes to move on. I know how it feels to lie. All I want to do is trade this life for something new, holding on to what I do not have. Wild. So, this is directly off of Minutes to Midnight. Minutes to Midnight is all about literally ripping yourself out of your past and leaving it behind because you're not going to be able to solve it. Just moving on. Literally just moving. Okay? So Chester right here is saying that he knows what it means to move on. It means that you have to lie. All he wants to do is trade this life he's stuck in for something new. Sitting in an empty room, trying to forget the past. This was never meant to last, right? We build it all up so we can burn it all down. This was never meant to last. I wish it wasn't so. And then Mike and Chester say, what was left when that fire was gone, as in the fire from Burn It Down? I thought it felt right, but that right was wrong. All caught up in the eye of the storm, in the center of the storm. And trying to figure out what it's like moving on. Trying to figure out what it means to lie and cut myself off from things. My mouth kept moving when my mind went dead. Right? Cross off the days gone. I'm coming back from the madness, from the blackness, from the sadness. But the fact is, I've been swinging through life like a clenched fist. Fuck sanity. I want to bleed. The pain is all I feel, is all that's real. Crazy. My mouth kept moving, but my mind went dead. So black out and hide behind the lines. Stare down the sun until it blinds your eyes from seeing the sun, 1,000 suns. So I'm picking up the pieces now, where to begin. The hardest part of starting is beginning again. Or the hardest part of ending is beginning again. All I want to do is trade this life for something new. Okay, let's do another song. We're going to do this in Living Things and Hunting Party. Because no, you don't get to censor your message. What about Blackout? Directly after that, Waiting for the End, Blackout. We were just talking about blacking out, right? Cross off. So let's read it. I'm stuck in this bed you made, alone with the sinking feeling. I saw through the words you said to the secrets you've been keeping. It's written upon your face, all the lies, how they cut so deeply. I wonder if Jonathan Schwartz was involved in that. You can't get enough, you take and take and take and take and never say no. You gotta get it inside. You push it back down, there's blood in your eye. Now take that back to grade A's. What's in the eye? It's blood, bitch. Whose blood? I don't know. Homie was swinging back from the madness when they put him down. You say it's not your fault, and you swear that I'm mistaken. You said it's not what it seems. No remorse for the trust you are breaking. You run back, you run, but then back you fall, suffocate in the mess you're making. You can't get enough. You take and take and take. Fuck it. Are you listening? No. You gotta get it inside. You gotta push it back down. Blackout, blood in your eye. Floating down as colors fill the light. Remember? Waiting for the end said moving faster than the speed of light. Floating down as color fills the light. We look up from the ground in fields of paper white. And floating up, you pass us in the night. A future gazing out. A past to override. So, come down, far below. We've been waiting to collect the things you know. We've been waiting to collect the things you've let go. Directly after that, we have a song called Wretches and Kings. And this is the last song we're going to look at off of this album because, yeah, it is. It begins with, Wretches and Kings, there is a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart, that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears, upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all apparatus. And you've got to make it stop. Weird, that sounded exactly like me. To save face, how low can you go? Talk a lot of game, but yet you don't know. Static on the way. Make you all say, whoa. The people up top push the people down low. You push it back down. Blood in your eye. The people up top push the people down low. Get down and obey every word. Steady getting mine if you haven't yet heard. Steady getting mine if you haven't yet heard. Want to take what I got? Don't be absurd. Don't fight the power. Nobody gets hurt. If you haven't heard yet, then I'm letting you know there ain't shit we don't run when the guns unload. Hey, he said it. So basically at this point, Linkin Park is just a self-fulfilling prophecy, and if I have a problem with it, I should fuck myself because he wrote it. He said, there ain't shit we don't run when the guns unload. We will shoot anything and anybody with anything and at any time. That feels good to me. And no one make a move. Nobody make a move unless I say so. Got everything out of control. Now everybody go. Hey, 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 hey. Steal, unload. Final blow. We the animals take control. Hear us now, clear and true. Wretches and kings, we come for you. Hey, Emily, I'm not trying to be a dick, but if you're going to hand the microphone to the crowd, you should do it when there are lyrics to sing. Not just at times that you are not able to actually sing the song. There were a lot of awkward moments where people were sitting in the actual show. You were and they weren't singing back because you just gave them the mic at a random time. So keep pace. How slow can you go? How slow can you go? Well, apparently they can go 7 years. Talk a lot of shit and yet you don't know. Fire is on the way. Make you all say, whoa. The people up top and the people down low. Isn't it fucking funny that people took me saying there's fire on the way as a threatening thing? But Mike Shinoda can tour that shit. He said it right there. Fire on the way. Fire on the way. It's coming. Woo. With the Maynard haircut. You fucking crazy. Get down and I'm running it like that. The front of the attack is exactly where I'm at. There you go. Mike Shinoda said it himself. He is the face of the band. He is the mouth. He's that side of the coin and Brad's the other side. Oh yeah, that's right. They are majority producers on most of the songs that Linkin Park has ever produced. That's right. Interesting. I wonder if it's always been that way. I'm sure that maybe Brad might have been comfortable just hanging out. I think that's just all he wanted. The front of the attack is exactly where I'm at. Somewhere in between the kick and the hi-hat. The pen and the contract, the pitch and the contact. So get with the combat. I'm letting you know there ain't shit you can say. Make me back down, no. Same. There ain't shit you can say that make me back down. No. So push the button, let the whole thing blow. Spinning everything out of control. Now everybody go. Hey, hey, steal, unload. Final blow, we the animals take control. Hear us now, clear and true. No more sorrow. Oh, sorry, my bad. Wretches and kings, we come for you. Steal, unload, one more time. Skin and bone, black and blue. No more sun shall beat onto you. Hard-hitting words, my guys. Now look at this. It says... Skin and Bone, Black and Blue. You know what is a song on the next album called Living Things? Skin and Bone. It's almost like they're creating multiple concept albums and they're just saying that they're not doing it. And then at the end of the song, Mike goes, from the front to the back to side to side. If you feel what I feel, put them up real high. Like that. He probably sings it like Shakira, but I might be wrong. Okay, we're moving on. Let's go from 2010 to 2012. Let's talk about Living Things. Let's see why they didn't use so many of the songs on that album. I'm sure we'll find a reason. Why would they not want anybody to hear that album right now? Except for, Castle of Glass, which of course is a song about what? Being such a small crack in the castle of glass, there's nothing here to see. There's nothing here to see. There's nothing here to see. From Zero. Crazy. Crazy people, I'm telling you. All right. Let's do it. Living Things. Here we go. I got a lot of favorite. For those of you who have watched me talk about this album before, you know that I love this album. You know that I think that it has some of the best bangers in the discography, okay? Here we go. Let's see. Let's just go song by song on this one, because in reality, Living Things is the fallout of 1,000 Suns. Mike goes, you were that foundation, never gonna be another. There we go. You were that foundation, never gonna be another one, no. I followed, so taken, so conditioned, I could never let go. Wait, but he doesn't know what conditioning is. Because he doesn't groom people. So he doesn't know how his actions impact people. He doesn't know. Then sorrow. No, no more sorrow. Your time has come to be erased. You know what I'm saying? Then sorrow. Then sickness. Deep fever. Lost in the echo. One last lie I can see through. Right? Here we go. Then the shock when you flip it on me. So hollow, so vicious. Hey, that's how I felt when Anna talked to me. That's crazy. So afraid I couldn't let myself see. But that time I said, I see perfectly fucking fine. And what you just said and did is not cool. And I'm not taking it. That I could never be held back or up. No, I hold myself. Check the rep. Yep, you know mine well. You do, you know his rep. Forget the rest, let them know my hell. What does he always sing about? I drag myself through hell and back. You said, you're a genius, stupid. It's only my entire career hanging in the balance. Why does he always talk like that? Like he hasn't had a bit of success in his entire life. Even the top isn't top enough. Check the rep, yep, you know mine well. Forget the rest. Forget the rest, let them know my hell. There and back, yet my soul ain't sell. I'm sorry, sweetheart, your soul has been sold for a hell of a long time. You probably sold it when you got into business with Jay-Z because, let's be honest, you were supposed to do 2 songs, not an entire EP. But, you know, all that extra work you weren't supposed to be doing really helped out when you needed an executive producer and a platform through which to launch your Rising Tide album. But, you know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bey. We don't talk about Jay. We don't do it. There and back yet, my soul ain't sell. What a joke. Kept respect up. No, you didn't. The best they fell. Let the rest be the tale they tell. Like that I was there saying, in these promises broken deep below, each word gets lost in the echo. The echo of what? Oh, the chamber that you're locked in? Gotcha. So one last lie I can see through. I see you, bitch. This time I finally let you go. Good. Goodbye. Get the fuck out of here with your basketball. Test my will, test my heart. Let me tell you how the odds gonna stack up. Y'all go hard, I go smart. Ooh, that one didn't end well. That did not age well. This is like looking at old Drake stuff and trying to like be like, well, was he that bad always? And then being like, oh fuck, yeah, kinda. The mention must run in his family, but let it get shaky. How's that working out for y'all in the back, huh? I've seen that. Frustration. Being crossed and lost and told no. Definitely not Jonathan Schwartz and GSO. I wonder how Alanis Morissette feels that they're the only one to take any of the fucking Jonathan Schwartz blame. That's crazy. And I've come back unshaken. That part's true. That aged real well. Let down and lived and let go. That part is fucking almost true. You didn't really let go. You kind of held on with a white-knuckled intensity, but okay. So you can let it be known. I don't hold back. I hold my own. You said it twice. I can't be mapped. I can't be cloned. I can't see flat. It ain't my tone. Mike Shinoda, how can you not be cloned? You literally clone your music from other people's music. You know that. You know that. You take different genres and different styles, different expressions from different times and bands, and you put them together, correct? So you can be mapped. You're being mapped right now. You can be cloned. You've cloned yourself. You don't know how to break a mold, so you make the same mistakes. I can't see flat. That's clever. It's a little flat now since C's dead. I actually kind of want to petition to make Linkin Park Dead Chester instead of Dead Sarah. Because at this point, it's a cover band until they release their new album. And also, like, come on. How's that not funny? It ain't my tone. I'll tell you what your tone is. Condescending and arrogant. Exclusionary. Classist. Adultist. I can't fall back. I came too far. Oh, sweetheart, you can fall back even if you came far. Hold myself up and love my scars. Ew. In context of today, that's gross. Let the bells ring wherever they are. Because I was there saying. And it's funny. Isn't that right there a Keys to the Kingdom reference? right? And also an Until It Breaks reference, because Until It Breaks, it says, when kingdom come, the bells will ring. And then on Hunting Party, which is the next album, they say, I'm my own, where's casualty, throw the keys to the kingdom down my eye. I'm my own, worst enemy. I can't say certain things, yeah, right? And then he says, and it says deep below here on Genius, but it's not deep below. Every time he says it, he says deep fever. He doesn't say below, he says fever. But whatever. In these promises broken, deep fever, each word gets lost in the echo. So one last lie I can see through. It's time I finally let you go. Facts. And then he comes back with another verse. He says, no, you can tell them all now. I don't back up. I don't back down. I don't fold up and I don't bow. I don't roll over. Don't know how. Can't be stopped. All I know, go hard. Won't forget how I got this far. Yeah, you didn't. For every time saying, in these promises, broken, deep fever. One last lie, I finally let you go. That was Lost in the Echo, the first song off of Living Things. Let's listen to my rendition of In My Remains. Chester says, separate, sifting through the wreckage, I can't concentrate, searching for a message in that fear and pain, broken down and waiting for the chance to feel alive. Now in my remains are promises that never came, set this silence free to wash away the worst of me. Hey, that kind of reminds me of Cross Off. These words unspoken. Heavy is the hand that points the finger. Heavy are the words that go unspoken. Come apart, falling in the cracks of every broken heart, digging through the wreckage of your disregard, sinking down and waiting for a chance to feel alive. In my remains are promises that never came. Set this silence free to wash away the worst of me, like an army falling one by one, like an army falling one by one. One by one by one. That was In My Remains. So it's interesting, right? There's Minutes to Midnight, which is the countdown clock to the end of the world. Then there's 1,000 Suns, and then there's Living Things, and the second song on that album was In My Remains, and they're saying that in the remains of what came before, in the remains of my decomposed corpse, I am like the phoenix trying to release myself through expression. Interesting. I wonder why you felt that way, Dad. And then here we have Burn It Down, and it says, the cycle repeated as explosions broke in the sky. 1,000 Suns again. You know what explosions in the sky they're talking about. And also sky is a metaphysical thing. It's like air. It's like a mental projection and the imagination, right? All that I needed was the one thing I couldn't find. And you were there at the turn, waiting to let me know we're building it up to break it back down. We build it up to burn it down. We can't wait to burn it to the ground. The Emptiness Machine. The colors conflicted as the flames climbed into the clouds. I wanted to fix this, but couldn't stop from tearing it down. And you were there, you, at the turn, caught in the burning glow of the fire under the altar. Emptiness Machine. And I was there at the turn, waiting to let you know that we're building it up to break it back down. We build it up to burn it, and we are excited to burn it down. Mike says, you told me yes, you held me high, and I believed when you told that lie. I played soldier. You played king. and struck me down, bah, 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 when I kissed your ring. You lost that right to hold that crown. Which, by the way, what was one of the songs on the set list, guys? What was it? It was Heavy is the Crown. For the new album, Heavy is the Crown. You lost the right to hold that crown. I built you up, but you let me down. So when you fall, I'll take my turn and fan the flames as your blazes burn. This is Hit the Floor from Hybrid Theory. You maybe have got me now, but when it's my turn, I'm gonna fucking annihilate you. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna kick your ass when you're least expecting it. When you're at your most weak, I'm gonna fan those flames and burn you down. When you fall, I'll take my turn and fan the flames as your blazes burn. We can't wait to burn it to the ground. Okay, interesting. Track 4 is called Lies, Greed, and Misery. This song is one of my favorite on the album. I like how Mike says that none of his music means anything because this is pretty specific. Are you ready? He goes, I'm going to be that nail in your coffin, saying that I softened. I was ducking down to reload. So you can save your petty explanations. I don't have the patience. Before you even say it, I know. You let your pride or your ego talk slick to me? No. That's not the way I get down. And look how you lose your composure. Now let me show you exactly how the breaking point sounds. One step closer to the edge and I'm about to break. You know what it is. Chester goes, I want to see you choke on your lies, swallow up your greed, suffer all alone in your misery. It sounds like they're having a good time with these people, yeah? What is it you want me to tell you? I'm not the failure. I would rather live and let be. But you came with the right kind of threat to push me to let you know you can't intimidate me. You disrespect me so clearly. Now you better hear me. This is not the way it goes down. You did it to yourself, and now it's over. Let me show you how the breaking point sounds. I want to see you choke on your lies, swallow up your greed, suffer all alone in your misery. You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. I just want to be part of something. Does it sound like these guys are nice people? Does it sound like this is a kosher experience? Does it sound like this is fun? The next song is track 5, which is I'll Be Gone, which is a reference to When They Come For Me. It's one of my least favorite songs on the album. Castle of Glass is number 6, so let's listen to that since they used that in their lineup. This is the only song off this album that they used in the show the other night. Mike says, and this is Castle of Glass, take me down to the river bend. He says, take me down to the river bend. Take me down to the fighting end. Wash the poison from off my skin, like the venom from the teeth of the predators that you're around, like you talk about later. Interesting. Show me how to be whole again. Fly me up on a silver wing. Past the black where the sirens sing. Warm me up in a nova's glow. You mean a star like 1,000 suns? And drop me down to that dream below. What do they say? And Waiting for the End. Come down. We want to collect what you've let go. We want to collect what you know. Drop me down into the dream. So the dream is where they collect these things. Do you see what I'm saying? The dream is where you come down. Come down on, down on. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see it. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass, hardly anything there for you to see. I'm invisible, subtle in my influence. Bring me home in a blinding dream, through the secrets that I have seen. Wash that sorrow from off my skin. Ooh, you mean like sorrow as in correlated to poison? So your sorrow is poisonous? Fascinating. That must be part of the venom from the teeth of the predators that you're surrounded by, is the sorrow. Gotcha. And show me how to be whole again. 'Cause I'm only a crack in a castle of glass, hardly anything to see. That's the entire song. We're on track 7 now, Victimized. We're really ripping through this because it's not about sitting with each song. It's about, this has all been here for years. Let's talk about it. Victimized. No regret for the confidence betrayed. No more hiding in shadow. 'Cause I won't wait for your debt to be repaid. Time has come for you. Like No More Sorrow, right? Victimized, victimized. Never again victimized. They're acting like they want a riot. It's a riot we'll give them. As the siren, there's the second siren reference, climbs higher on this violent rhythm. For your snakes in the grass, supplying the venom. I ain't scared of your teeth. I admire what's in them. You've been waiting in the shadows there, thinking you're hidden. Oh, like the emptiness machine, right? You're sharpening your knives and you got your point of view and you're waiting out there for me like I know you do. You've been waiting in the shadows there, thinking you're hidden. But the truth is you don't have the stomach to get them. Go on already, hit them. You gotta be kidding. Want to talk about a victim? I'll put you there with them. Well, good job, Mike. You really did it. Good job, Mike. You really, really did it. You made me a victim. You made a lot of people victims in the process. And then it's victimized, victimized, never again, victimized. And then it's over. Isn't that an interesting lyric? Wait, no, there's one more. There's one more verse. Hold on. Isn't there? Nope. Until it breaks. And then powerless. Let's do it. It goes a 1, 2, 3. I was born with the hunger of a lion, the strength of a sun. I don't need to sweat it when the competition come. Original style like an 808 drum. So I don't run the track, no, I make that track run. My mama taught me words. My daddy built rockets. I put them both together. Now tell me what I got. It's a pretty smart weapon. I can shoot it. I could drop it like a gun or a bomb. 1,000 suns. But learn to respect it, because you clearly can't stop it like that. Did that, that. Did that, that. Did that, did that, that. Did that, that. It ain't over because the shark's on the left. The snake's on the right. And anything you do, they want to get a little bite. It really doesn't matter if you're wrong or if you're right. Because once they get their teeth in, nothing really fights. And as for me, I do it like I got nothing to lose. And you can run your mouth like you could try to fill my shoes. But steady little soldier. Why do they keep calling people soldiers? Why do you keep calling himself a general in an army? Why the fuck you keep talking to you guys like the Linkin Park Underground is Linkin Park soldiers? It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. It's got like radicalization. But whatever. I'd be laying on that ground before you're even in my view like that. Did that. Right? He's saying, I'd be on the ground sniping you. That's what he's saying. Before you're even in my view, I'd be on the ground and I got you already covered. I'm already out of it. You don't even know what hit you. That's what they keep saying. I hit you so hard, It's so subliminal that they didn't know that I hit them. Jaden style. Give me the strength of the rising sun. Give me the truth of the words unsung. Unsung. He did not say what he needed to say. He said what he could say. And when the last bell rings, the poor men sing, bring me to kingdom come. It's something for you people on the block to black out and rock to. Give me what you need, like Papa, who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete. You're meek, I creep hard on imposters. How the fuck are you going to be creeping on imposters and treating me the way you're treating me? That's what I do. I creep on imposters because I don't like the way that you fucking sneak this. I don't like the way that you fucking dress. I don't like the way that you fucking walk. I don't like the way you fucking talk. I don't like the way you fucking interact. Period. Look at the famous actor we once knew. Now he's spiraling. All I could do is watch as his power weakens. He's looking paranoid, antic, looking distasteful. Give me what you need, like Papa, who shot you? Separate the weak from... Wait, what's that? There's a break there, huh? Who shot you? Separate the weak from the obsolete. You're meek, I creep hard on imposters. I switch styles on a dime, quick-witted. You're not that funny. You're not that witty, buddy. Quick-witted. Y'all quit tripping. I don't have time for your crying. I grind tough, sucker, make your mind up. Are you in the firing squad or are you in the lineup? Bang, bang, little monkey man, playing with the big guns. Only get you slain. I ain't playing, I'm just saying. You ain't got a sliver of a chance. I get iller, I deliver while you quiver in your pants. So shake, shake down, money, here's the breakdown. You can play the bank, I'm gonna play the bank take down. I'm a Banksy, you're a brainwash. Get the picture, it's like that. It's like that. I'm a Banksy, you're a brainwash. Get the picture? It's like that. And then Brad comes up with like one of the greatest outros in Linkin Park history. We swim against the rising waves and crash against the shore. The body bends until it breaks. The early morning sings no more. So rest your head, it's time to sleep and dream of what's in store. Dream, there's the dream realm again. And the body bends until it breaks and sings again no more. Ouch. Because time has torn the flesh away. The early morning sings no more. Okay, so tomorrow doesn't exist anymore. Awesome. So all your dreams are fucking trashed. Awesome. Track 12, because tinfoil is an instrumental. This song is called Powerless. It was wonderfully used in the promotion of the blockbuster hit Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. If you guys don't remember that, this song was used to promote that movie. You hid your skeletons when I had shown you mine, Anna. You woke the devil that I thought you left behind. I saw the evidence, the crimson blood soaking through. You push it back down, blood in the eye. 10,000 promises, 10,000 ways to lose. So, what's that song? I feel like I'm battling industry promises. I feel like you're miseducated. I feel like my thoughts in the basement. I feel like you might be the problem. The world's ending. Fuck your feelings. I'm done pretending. And you held it all, but you were careless to let it fall. You held it all and I was by your side. Powerless. Correct? Powerless. So, you were at the turn when we burned it. And I was by your side, powerless. And you just did what you did. And then people thought it was my choice. They thought it was my fucking life. They thought that's what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. I watched you fall apart and chased you to the end. I'm left with emptiness that words cannot defend. Emptiness machine. 10,000 promises. 10,000 ways to lose. And you held it all. But you were careless to let it fall. And I was by your side, powerless. And he doesn't know what vampires are. Can you believe people really believe in vampires? Yes, you suck the energy out of pretty much anything you do. As far as I'm aware, right now, at this moment, you are a vampire. And I do feel that way. So there you go. There's Living Things. That's the only song off that album they picked was Castle of Glass. There's hardly anything here to see, but every other song is a fucking bop, bop. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're over there being like, dun, 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 headshot, headshot, headshot for the year. You better walk around like Daft Punk, remember? It's literally what they're saying. But no, it's just Linkin Park. It's crazy. Okay, now I want to touch on Hunting Party, because Hunting Party is an album that wasn't touched at all. At all. Okay? Which is really interesting. Because the Hunting Party is an album in which Linkin Park describes for the audience how they are a fake entity used in a money laundering scheme. And it's all dependent on you. Keys to the Kingdom, track 1. Hi, baby. How are you? Yeah, we're still reading here. No control. No surprise. Oh, you have no control, and it's not surprising that you still don't have control over your life. Crazy. Toss the keys to the kingdom down that hole in my eye. Hole is a Grey Days song. What's in the Eye is a Grey Days song. We already talked about how Blackout ties to Cross Off in other songs. And here are the Tears to the Kingdom. It's the key thrown straight into the eye. Not the eye, the eye. You lose someone in their own creativity. What's that line off of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers? I've seen intelligent people make stupid decisions. I learned entrapment in the business. I'm my own casualty. I fuck up everything I see, fighting in futility. We start, right? We start the final war. Tell me what's worth fighting for when we know there's nothing more. We take the hand or fist just to sell ourselves for this, the path we least resist. What's the path of least resistance, Mike? I'm just curious. Because what you said is that you forged your path through all of this. You said that. You said this was brand new. You said this ain't ever fucking been done before. You said you were that fucking cutting edge. In fact, you tell your fans that every fucking time you try to get them to buy a fucking ticket or an album. Come on, man. It's crazy. What's the path you least resist? Taking advantage of people? Or are there bigger, scarier people behind the scenes? Because you know what the fucking Illuminati is, and you know what the fuck it means to control people with esoteric groups and knowledge, and you fucking get it. I wonder which one of you is the Scientologist. No control, no surprise. Toss the keys to the kingdom down that hole in my eye. Because things break when you stuff them too hard. When you go black out and you never say no. You gotta stuff it back down. Blood in my eye. You can actually hurt people by pushing things a little too hard. By not acknowledging that they have basic needs and they need to be like fulfilled. And you do that for a long time. Like taking a man away from his family. Not allowing him to be a dad, the dad he wants to be. Like I said about that Zane Lowe comment earlier. That's what that looks like. I fuck up everything I see, fighting in futility. Isn't that crazy that Chester feels like he's fighting in futility, and it's because he feels pain by the things that he sees, and because he's pained, he ends up doing things that make him look and sound a certain way, and he ends up being a casualty of his own interaction with the world, the things that pain him, and ends up feeling like everything's futile. Like he said with that quote about heavy, because if you all remember, it's not why is everything so heavy. Heavy is actually a term he described through his use of a poem, like the poems he left on his Instagram and Twitter before he died. Okay? I give you what you came for. This is not the same though. Got a different method, but I can still bring the pain though. Facts. You bring tons of pain with you. So, y'all got that same flow. I got that insane flow. You haven't done anything new. This is not a Linkin Park song. It's a Path of Least Resistance. The Emptiness Machine. That's how I feel. You don't have that insane flow, bro. You don't even consider yourself a rapper, and you're over here literally saying that you're the sickest fucking rapper there is. That you got that motherfucking whatever it is that you think is important. So no. You don't get to say that you have this level of affluence, that this level of acknowledgement of yourself, that the next album comes out the same year Damn comes out by Kendrick Lamar. And you want to say that you're a good rapper? I want to see you write DNA. I want to see you write Element. I want to see you embody that shit. If I got to jump out, I'll make it look sexy, motherfucker. Like, come on. What are you talking about? You want to play show business? Let's play. I have walked down a couple of people with a poker face. Yeah, you're one of them. Y'all got that same flow. I got that insane flow. High as y'all can get, you never really in my range though. Yes, I'm half Anglo, half fried panko. That's such a weird, like, racial. All primetime rhymer. Let the bass bang low. You're right, you are pride time. Yeah, that's true. All you fucking lames go aiming at my name. Who's aiming at your name, Mike? Who's aiming at you? Who's shooting you down, lying to you, taking advantage of you, enslaving you? Who is it? Because you're still a Warner Music guy. You led their Web3 development. You got 2 people in the band who have experience with Warner Music Group, and one of them's a producer with Chappelle. So what the fuck are you? Who's shooting at you, bro? Careful what you shoot, because you might hit what you aim for. I would say that's arguably the best bit of gun safety advice you could give somebody. Don't point at something if you don't intend to shoot it. That's why I always point at what I'm pointing at. Because when I shoot, people think I miss shots. I don't miss shots. No, I shoot in time, bro. My existence is in resistance to you. All you got to do is stand up and hold yourself, and we can all see how that's going to work out. Test my will, huh? Test my heart. I go hard. How's that? I go smart. How's that working out for y'all in the back, huh? Me too. And that's literally the whole song. And then Otis says, I'm not allowed to say certain things. So they literally acknowledge that they are their own worst enemies, that they fight in futility, that they're being controlled, they're being attacked, they're being coerced in some form or fashion, and that they're not allowed to say certain things. That's the first fucking track on the album. Okay. Let me familiar out. Here, leave. Stop running away like you're scared. I just opened the door.
This isn't like Game of Thrones. Bye.
Yeah. There we go. So she won't come back in. So this is really interesting because the second track, All for Nothing, is a song that brings up the obey line from Wretches and Kings. All right? It's very interesting. Mike says, so what you waiting for? Anticipating more while you debate what it could take to instigate a war. He's talking about war again. There's going to be a song called War on this album. Says, yeah, I've been hated more time than I wasn't hated for. There's nothing they can fucking say that they didn't say before. But you could never see it. Your battle's not mine. want to skate and play it safe, but this is take a shot time. So you're shooting at people. You're telling people to watch them shooting you, but you're shooting at people. That's interesting. While you're waiting for a purpose, I already got mine. While you tell me to step to it like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is by far one of the worst rap rocks they've ever done. I don't care. I'm going to call it a rap rocks because I don't give a fuck. And if I do what you demand, you will let me understand. You're going to hold me to your word, and if I sell myself away, I'll have no debt to pay. I'm going to get what I deserve. What a weird chorus. I'm just saying. They're saying that somebody is demanding that they do something as a band, that they'll be privileged to understand why they should be doing that if they do agree to do it, that they're going to be held to someone else's word, and if they sell themselves anyway, they won't have a debt to pay because they're going to get what they deserve. So in other words, what's happening right now is exactly what Mike Shinoda thinks he deserves. And so did Brad, Dave, Joe. Your word obeyed, my debt repaid, our trust betrayed, all for nothing. Kick back, there's no way to say it. So let me break this fucker down for ya. I really don't know ya. You talk, but let me show you where to put your paranoia. You're joking. I don't have half a sucker bone to throw you. I'm disgusted. Wonder what could have made you tuck your tail below. And no, I'm not your soldier. I'm not taking orders. I am a 5-star general. Infantry controller. Need a lesson? Let me show you. Have you checking your composure while I make you step to it like 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it interesting that Mike Shinoda is literally calling himself a shot taker, a bruiser? And Emily Armstrong is also accused of being the same thing, but for Scientology. I'm not saying Mike's in the church. I'm just saying that's fucking interesting. That's literally the entire song. So no, Mike, I don't think you got that insane flow. Your insane flow might have been last album, but it's not this one. This album has by far the worst rock rap on it. And by the way, that song featured Paige Hamilton. So again, when Mike Shinoda says that they opened up the doors for the first time during One More Light to work with producers, he's lying to you. The same way he's lying to you when he says that Rob didn't participate at all in the Hybrid Theory box set stuff. He did. He was on the camera. This song is called Guilty All the Same. Chester says, tell us all again what you think we should be, what the answers are, what it is we can't see. Hey, there's that privilege line again. If you accept what I'm telling you and you take my orders, you'll be privileged enough to understand what it is I have in place for you. Tell us again how to do what you say, how to fall in line, how there's no other way. It kind of sounds like Chester fell into that when he died, but whatever. You're guilty all the same, too sick to be ashamed. You want to point your finger, and heavy is the finger. Heavy is the hand that points the finger. Heavy is the heart that's filled with anger. You want to point your finger, but there's no one else to blame. You're guilty all the same. Show us all again that our hands are unclean. Yeah, tell me again how I'm literally not allowed to leave this situation because I'm guilty in it as well. I participated in it. Go ahead and tell me how you wrap me up into actual responsibility for this fucking thing. That we were unprepared. That you have what we need in our unpreparedness. Show us all again, because we cannot be saved. Because the end is near, minutes to midnight. Now there's no other way. You're guilty all the same, too sick to be ashamed. You want to point your finger, but there's no one else to blame. And then Rakim comes in and he has it's crazy when your feature is better than you on your own album. I'm not being a dick. I'm saying like genuinely this is so good that it makes everything that you did on the album, Mike, as a rapper look like a joke. It's true. Rakim says, yeah, you already know what it is. Can y'all explain what kind of land is this? When a man has plans of being rich, but the boss's plans is wealthy? He said right there, what kind of land is this? When a man has plans of being rich, but the boss has plans of being wealthy. When you're contracted to someone who wants all your money and all what you're worth, they want to keep you as an asset, like the way that Brad Delson had touring stuff in his garage for who knows how long because they didn't plan on this. Dirty money scheme, a clean split, nonsense, it's insane, even corporate hands is filthy. They talk team and take the paper route. All they think about is bank accounts, assets, and realty. At anybody's expense, no shame with a clear conscience, no regrets and guilt-free. They claim that ain't the way they built me. So crazy. The smoke screen before the flame, knowing as soon as the dough or the deal peak, say it's time for things to change, rearrange like good product, rebuilt cheap. Anything if it's more to gain. Drained, manipulated like artists, it's real deep, until no more remains. But I'm still me, like authentic hip hop and rock till pop and radio and record companies killed me. Give it. Try to force me to stray and obey, and got the gall to say how real can real be? You feel me? We'll see. That green could be to blame or greedy for the fame, TV or a name, the media, the game. To me, you're all the same. You're guilty. That's insane. Let's walk back through that. Rakim says, again, you know what it is. Explain to me what kind of land this is when a man has plans of being rich, but his employer has plans of being wealthy. Rich means cashing out now. Wealth means long-term, long-trend profit. Asset management. Dirty money scheme. A clean split. Nonsense. It's insane. Even corporate hands is filthy. They talk team and take the paper route. All they think about is bank accounts, assets, and realty. At anybody's expense. No shame. With a clear conscience. Mike Shinoda. Today, yesterday, the day before, the week before that. No regrets and guilt-free. They claim that ain't the way they built me. Killer. That's the fucking killer verse. So he's saying that artists are contracted into asset positions managed by the company in long trend so that they become wealthy, and the artist who intended to be rich progressively becomes more and more dependent on the label and less financially stable. He says right here, it's a dirty money scheme, a clean split nonsense. Corporate hands are filthy. They talk team, but they take paper route, meaning that they have lists that they use for blackmail. They keep track of your moves. They tell you what you did and didn't do, what you have the right to feel anything about and what you don't. At anybody's expense. It doesn't matter who. It could be the children. It could be the artist. But they got clear conscience. They're guilt and shame free, no regrets. And they claim that's not the way that they built this. But that is the way they built it. That's the implicit here, is that he's saying they did. They did do it. The smoke screen, which is funny because that's actually the name of a transformer. Did anybody catch that? Rakim dropped a transformer fucking line in his verse. It's so much better than Mike's work. It's crazy. The smoke screen before the flame, which is the fire of 1,000 suns, which is the sins of our hands, the sins of our tongues, the sins of our fathers, the sins of our sons. God help us, everyone. We're a broken people living under a loaded gun. And the flame climbed confusingly into the sky, burning in the skies, swimming through the smoke and debris, on living things, in my remains, burn it down. It's just so hypertextual, like, come on. Knowing as soon as the dough, the money, or the deal, the process through which the money is generated, peak, which, by the way, remember, on 1,000 Suns, Mike said he's the peak. So he's the deal. Between the pen and the contract, the kick and the hi-hat, you know what it is. Knowing as soon as the dough or the deal peak, say it's time for change. Rearrange like good product, rebuilt cheap. Which, by the way, there are alternative lyrics. If you look at YouTube Music versus Spotify, it says, rebuild the product, we built, not rebuild. It says, we build cheap. It was some kind of like rewording. It was very interesting to see this lyric right here just now. Anything if it's more to gain. They will do anything if more profit is to be had out of it. Drained, manipulated like artists. It's real deep because it's never been about the music. It's always been more than the music. Until no more remains. You can't even have a song like In My Remains. And ended up being true. There is no remains. It's a totally new deal now. Linkin Park. Until no more remains, but I'm still me. Like authentic hip-hop and rock till pop and radio. Pop is next. They did hip-hop first. They did rock up until this point. And next it will be radio pop. And record, because that will be One More Light, right? And record companies killed me. Try to force me to stray and obey. Stray from being rich. Stray from your own wealth. Stray from your own best interests. And obey every word. Get down. The people up high, push the people down low. There ain't shit we don't run when the guns unload. And they have the gall to say, how real can real be? Hey, they've been saying that to me for like 7 years now. That's crazy. You feel me? We'll see. That green as in money, but also green as in paper cuts. The Greatest Hits album. Which he didn't know anything about, but it was coming. The Friendly Fire single, green. That green could be to blame or greedy for the fame, TV, or a name. The media who has thoroughly made me feel like I'm invisible. The game. To me, you're all the same. You're guilty. I mean, how insane is that verse compared to everything else on this fucking album? It's crazy. Track number 5, War. They didn't do a single track off this album, guys. Not a single track. There's no peace, only war. Victory decides what's wrong or right. It will not cease, only grow. You better be prepared to fight. I'm right here, Daddy. I got this. I get my hands fucking dirty. I'm in it. I'm in it to the death. This is not a game. I'm in it to the death. That's why I had to do that life insurance policy, like I was saying, this time last year. When there was an attempted hack, 10 attempted hacks on my account for just talking about Linkin Park, for just talking about Sean Dowdell. And it will not apologize for laying down your life. War. Yeah. There's no pain it will spare. Fear has become your only right. And once you're lost in your despair, forever black, eternal light. It really says eternal night. But doesn't that remind you? And once you're lost in your despair, forever black, eternal night, black out, you push it back down, blood in your eye, and also cross off the days gone by. Making my way back from the madness, from the blackness. But the fact is, it needs no side to justify laying down your life. War, destroyer. That's my dad. Not one more light. And then we go to, I don't like Wastelands. I think Wastelands is a shit song. Until It's Gone, it's pretty a shit song. I don't like it. Let's see. Yeah, this song's just like fucking, it's just some incel shit. Let's do Rebellion featuring Darren. How do you say your last name? Darren Malakian. So that's 3 featured artists on this album so far. Mike goes, he says, I've seen the blood, I've seen the broken, the lost and the sights unseen. I want a flood, I want an ocean to wash my confusion clean. I can't resolve this empty story. I can't repair the damage done. We, Linkin Park, are the fortunate ones who've never faced oppression's gun. We are the fortunate ones, imitations of rebellion. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? You're hearing it, right? Mike said, I've seen the blood, I've seen the broken, the lost and the sights unseen. I want a flood, I want an ocean to wash my confusion clean. I can't resolve this empty machine story. I can't repair the damage that was done. We are the fortunate ones. Linkin Park has never faced oppression's gun. We are imitations. Linkin Park is an imitation of rebellion. Which, by the way, for Chester, it wasn't. But I understand being contractually obligated into fucking shit you don't want to be engaged in. He says, and he uses gang terminology here. This is so fucking interesting. We acted out. Here it is. We wear the colors. As when you show up and you show colors with the enemy. We acted out. We wear the colors. Confined by the things that we own. We are not without. We are like each other, pretending that we're here alone. So Linkin Park literally on the song just acknowledged that they are imitations of the real thing, that they have sold you a product that was rebuilt cheap. He's got that insane flow, the same thing I told you 100 times. What's that song on Post Traumatic? What's that thing I said 100 times? Now you're hearing what I told you 100 times before. Here it is. We're pretending that we're here alone. We're pretending that we're the only ones in the situation. We're pretending that other things don't exist outside of this context. Kind of like Linkin Park just did the other night. And far away, they burn their buildings, as in burn it down. Their buildings, as in the architecture of the career or the artistic kayfabe fucking character they put on, whatever it is. Right in the face of the damages done. So far away, they burn the buildings, the architecture of your demise, of your suffering, right in the face of the damage they caused you. That sounds pretty fucked up. And then Chester goes, rebellion, rebellion. We lost before the start. One by one, we fall apart. We fall apart. Like this. Like the last album when they said, one, like an army falling one by one. Oh, they're rebuilding the product cheap. Huh. Weird. The same album as the last album with a different generic dressing. Interesting. So they're making acknowledgments to the past album. They're saying that they are fake, that they've lied to you about the sincerity of their struggles. Again, we are the fortunate ones who never faced oppression's gun, who were never victims like they said they were in the Catalyst. In the Catalyst, he said, God save us everyone. We're a broken people living under loaded gun. Here he's saying, we are the fortunate ones who never faced oppression's gun. We are the fortunate ones, imitations of rebellion. They sold you a product built cheap because they lost before they started. They signed into a bad contract. They made a dummy deal at end of day. And they tried to sue for a better contract in 2006 and they failed. They got 2 more albums added to the contract because Warner Music Group did not want Collision Course, a Grammy-winning album, mix-up album, mashup album, to be on their contract. They said, no, that album that you made, Mike, doesn't count. You were supposed to do 2 songs, not an entire album. That was not the deal. And you did it with Rock Nation. So it's not even a Warner Music album. That's our asset. That's my fucking product, Mike. What the fuck? And this whole like punk album, they do the 1, 2, 3, 4. Like they count in every time, like they're trying to get people amped up. Like you don't need to count 4 count every fucking time you do a song on this album. You don't have to. So we're on Mark the Graves. There's a fragile game we play with the ghosts of yesterday. If we can't let go, we are never going to say goodbye. No trace of what remains, right? That's what Rakim said. There will be nothing left. No stones to mark those graves. Only memories we thought we could deny. And what did Mike say? I designed this rhyme to explain it through time, that all I know is that everything will eventually be a memory. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you as far as it can go. There was so much more to lose than the pain I put you through. In my carelessness, I left you in the dark. And the blood may wash away, but those scars will never fade. At least I know somehow I made a mark. Damn, that's brutal. So you're in a situation where you hurt people because you were forced into a situation. And all you can see is their scars. And the only thing that you can do is just literally let it go, have no feelings about it, not process it at all. Because if you try to process it, it's not going to happen. They're not going to let you. You're not going to be able to express yourself. You're not going to be able to live in your truth. So you just get to go, wow, look at those scars. That's the only marking on the grave that we were put in. That sign, those scars, the crimson bleeding through, another lyric that they had earlier. I can see the crimson bleeding through. That's all I have to remember the suffering that we went through, because I can't tell you what we went through. Damn. Fuck, that's crazy. And then they said sharks on the left, snakes on the right, on living things. Here they're saying that there's nothing left, that there's nothing right. Ooh, the nothingness machine. Oh shit, they're going to kick me off? What the fuck? That's crazy. I'll be back on, don't worry. In the dark and the light, nothing left, nothing right. Nothing left, nothing right. Nothing right, nothing right. There's that nothing complex again. How crazy is that? Okay, I'm going to start this over so we can continue. And then once we're done with this, I'm going to call it a night. Because I feel like I've successfully vented as much as I fucking need to. We've got Final Masquerade and A Line in the Sand. And we're going to read those because those are important. Okay, let's start this over again.